It was another puppet show.
Yeah.
But now that I look at them, they're kind of creepy. They remind me of the things from the Dark Crystal that have their souls sucked out of them.
Oh, yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah.
It's like beady eyes.
Like I said, her hair was like cheese puffs.
Oh, yeah.
Pink.
A lot of puppet shows were, in hindsight,
Oh, that's great.
So,
Uncanny Valley.
growing up, my favorite thing to watch was Dark Crystal for the Skeksis, which doesn't make any sense.
I was the opposite. I couldn't
Right.
watch Dark Crystal because of the Skeksis.
So, Brianna's favorite thing to watch was The Secret of Nim. But I couldn't watch The Secret of Nim because the birds. But the Skeksis were okay.
Go figure.
Nothing makes sense. But the owl really freaked me out.
Right?
Oh, yeah, no, the owl was terrifying.
And the crow was...
No, Jeremy was
He's a
lovable.
magpie.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, well, I don't know. It
He
weirded
likes
me out.
shiny
He
things.
was a lovable, affable, like a scuttle with a clue.
Well, as we all know, I'm irrational in my fears.
We know.
So
Speaking of irrational, you
I did a recon mission and then came back and promptly collapsed.
Yep.
From the headwind.
That's right.
And
And then, about half a day later, the ship came into port. The beautiful city of Liso. Much quieter than San Felipe, but looking like a little
Oh, we'll change that.
slice of paradise.
For now.
just looking on her. It's about to get fucked.
Yeah, like just beautiful, nice coastal town. Jimena, you've traveled through here, so you know it moves at a much more leisurely pace than San Felipe, which is not uncharacteristic for a lot of Castile. Happy Castilians don't move at blinding speed. Things move slowly.
Like siestas all day.
I was about to say, yeah, you gotta have the siesta time.
Yeah, it's a nice leisurely pace. And yeah, the city has a little bit of bustle in port as you pull in it, but otherwise looks nice and friendly and quiet as you step off the ship and wander into the city.
We have a cigarette for breakfast, and then we never get fat because of olive oil, and
Yeah.
2 bottles of wine and a cigarette for lunch.
that's right. Lunch of champions, and a croissant.
We're still in Spain.
Yeah, but we're all Europeans, so it's okay.
Rito's in the worst. You're all the same.
We're
then.
metropolitan. Actually, yeah, kind of like, no, there are 8 different kinds of my people, and we don't care for it. So, you should accept that y'all are a singular unit.
I think everyone on this side of the table is the same, and everyone on this side of the table is the same.
Yep. So yeah, you're rolling into Liso with a list of names that you've memorized. I'm pretty sure last session you burned the actual paper
Yeah.
and just committed the names and functions to memory. So you have a list and the name of a contact that Zhenya met very briefly when you turned from a bird to a woman and then back to a bird
Peace, bye.
and gave them like a, hey, you need to get your people to ground.
Yeah.
Things are about to get fucked in here.
Someone gave me a piece of paper. I don't know what's on it, but it's for you.
Yep.
I have to fly. Nice place.
So yeah, you're now rolling out into town.
Yeah. I was like, I think Zhenya's going to be taking it easy for the minute. I'm exhausted.
Yeah, you got a good nap.
Remind me, do we have somewhere to stay arranged? Or
No.
Well, we're rolling in with the governor, so we're like,
Oh, we get to stay in the governor's suite.
Yeah, the governor. The
oh
governor.
no, I don't want to be anywhere near it. It's going to be noisy as hell. I don't want any of that.
I don't know why.
No, you don't. It's fine.
Was Perez traveling on your boat,
I
or did he travel separately? I
I
know
think he traveled
Mazabi.
separately.
Mazabi
Yeah.
traveled separately.
Yeah.
They're all coming here.
I think we were all just trying to get there fast to set up
Yeah,
and
eventually
get the hype
find
going.
it if I
Yeah.
Because they will be
search
here.
and,
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think it was just us on our boat.
Yeah, I think I had some complex
It says
plan worked
here-
out that
we're bringing
apparently is
Governor.
not as important as I thought it might have been. So
We're
I'm good
bringing
with that.
Governor Perez and Inquisitor Mazabi to Liso with us,
Oh, okay.
and Laundreville because no Perez without Laundreville. Because
That's right.
Come on.
Okay.
Yeah, because they're a set.
Yeah. So you did decide to travel with them. I know there was a number of conversations that happened around this, so I forget where we had landed with.
Yeah.
So yeah, you do roll.
After some
It's the ice maker.
quote unquote.
Okay.
I think it's a woodpecker.
We have the governor and the operating cardinal or not the cardinal but the inquisitor of San Felipe in the middle of a policing action in the middle of the ocean.
Perez seems a little disturbed at the news, and there's a fair amount of guilt in how he's expressing himself. Landreville tries to calm him down, but there's a sense of like maybe I shouldn't have left.
Oh.
Because that's where his office is in Liso. And he's like, I don't know in what state the city is in. Maybe I should have left. Landreville is just matter-of-factly, like even tough love, just telling him...
I'm like, oh no, they look like they're in distress.
Right. He's basically saying to him, like, what would you have done if you were here?
Yeah,
right?
he'd still be a sniveling little muppet. If
But
we
he'd
had
be his sniffling little muppet.
well, no, now Laundreville would be dead.
That's
because
true.
we went in and we're like, hey, time to grow a pair. And he was like, I guess I will. And then we go saved his boyfriend. And now he's got to come on.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
That's
right.
true. No, that's true.
Yeah, I totally think we take credit for
So
that.
there's a pep talk that...
It's like real talk. It is your fault, but we can move. We
Yeah,
can
no,
move
it is
forward
not
from
the
here.
most your fault. And you're getting better.
Yeah. Landreville was
We
like...
have a path forward.
This
You
is
would
a
have
teaching
changed
moment.
nothing. They would have done the same things with or without you there. Plus, maybe they would have shoved you aside. Maybe they would have killed you. Who even knows?
Oh, that was
at this
absolutely on. No, that was option C.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
was where it was
And-
very, and it was a long list.
point. Landreville concludes his little pep talk with, "You're a different man than when you left. Now
Rethel
you're in
is-
the position." to
Rethel
help."
is down to go murder people as soon as we land,
Yeah.
or chill.
We need to figure
Either
out
way.
where those people are first.
Yeah, Zhenya's down.
We
Zhenya's
can
down to
dispose
take
for a
people
few
down
minutes.
because it's fun.
Right.
Yes, yes.
Well,
Yeah, we get it.
you're gonna need to figure out
At
first
least a base of operation.
where these people are at, because they're very likely not all together.
Of course.
Mostly because they're not supposed to know each other, right?
Yeah.
Like they're running a covert operation. In fact, when you step into the city, first things first, Perez says he's gonna go check in to the governor mansion. Go check with his staff, try to figure out if there's been any damages done to his office, right? Like if they're going to try to figure out who can still be trusted and, you know, what kind of intel they can pull.
Does he need us to come with?
Well, that's going to be what the next question is, because Mazabi and Elohim have also a place to stay, and Mazabi
Hobby's got
says...
Elohim, he's fine.
Mazabi basically
That
says...
guy's hardcore.
He needs to go start laying the groundwork to talk to Cardinal Fatima, who
That's right.
is the cardinal of this Gran Ducado, so technically of Odiseo. They called it Gallegos because, you know,
Jenny's like, I don't get all this.
yeah.
There's too many you peoples.
But he's basically saying we need her on our side. She got handpicked by Verdugo, but she doesn't know the whole extent the Inquisition has. She's suspicious, but if we can turn her, I think she has info on most of the cardinals on Council of the Raison. It would surprise me greatly if she didn't, because when Verdugo recruited her, she was a spy for good King Sandoval.
Oh.
But she's a patriot. I cannot fathom that she would follow him willingly, knowing everything that he's doing. So, yeah, and he sort of, at a low volume, mentions the last name on the list. The revered Madre. She's part of Fatima's entourage. So we're gonna need to break her out of there.
Yeah.
We're gonna need to separate them so she doesn't poison Fatima before we even start. So I've got my work cut out for me. There's a grunt from Elohim in the back who's already sort of surveying the area. Everything is sort of quiet and people are all friendly, and he seems to hate it.
Which is funny because he gets along with Virginia.
Yeah. But like,
But only recently.
he seems to hate it because that seems to trigger his paranoia even more.
Yeah.
Like, any of you could be a danger. I have no way to tell.
Mm-hmm.
I get it.
Oh,
Wait, I just remembered I gave myself all these things that could help me find people. Sorry.
So yeah, the question now comes to, do you want to go with any of these folks? Do you want to set up shop elsewhere? Run your own operation?
I think it would be smart to let Mzabi do his shit by himself until he's got like
until we
that
know,
in the
because-
bag. Because if we all
I mean,
just show up with him,
Well, specifically,
heretics
that's
and
the person
heathens,
that
after
Jimena
all.
has the most interest in murdering.
yeah.
So if we want to do this in any sort of discreet way, Jimena shouldn't get involved until we know where people are,
Yeah.
have a plan.
Yeah.
Because she's probably just going to be like, and go rage mode.
Yeah, and then the entire church just burns down suddenly.
Yeah.
Mazabi does let Jimena know that as soon as he's got any sort of plan in place, you will be the first to know.
But yeah, I feel like we should probably go and accompany to the governor's offices, since things could have gotten pretty, I don't know, dicey over there. And I mean, not saying that Landrevi can handle things, but he's only got like one hand, right? And
Yeah,
and
Landrevi is
Perez is such a
still-
a
Yeah,
twink.
he's still convalescing in a sense.
Mm-hmm.
But I think before we start actually taking these things down, we need to find somewhere that's base.
Yep.
So, and I think I would rather not be where all the dignitaries are,
That's
just
fair.
to keep that cover going.
That's true.
Well,
Personally,
if you mention that,
No.
It flew. It just
So-
went right out of your
Yeah.
arm's reach.
yeah.
somewhere close by, but not in their lap,
Well,
where we can still hear.
Landrevi gives you directions to the governor's mansion. Tells you, where to find it, how to get in, who to talk to get inside without a hassle, and just tells you we'll head there because that's where we're expected. Whenever you're ready, if you'd like to meet, come talk to us. let us know. It will probably take some time for us to get a lay of the current political situation and figure out what we might need to do. But yeah, find your lodging. If you can get us word as to where you're staying and how we can reach you while you're in the city, that will also help.
Of course. It will always be easy for us to
He's
find.
building a shed in here.
Umzabi knows it's very easy for me to find you.
He sort of gives you like a half smile and says like,
No, he's my friend now.
it seems that way. Not that I complain. You get a nod from Elohim too, as he's sort of scouting ahead, and then you get a
I was like, I think
You're-
Elohim is like, not only is he super like suspicious of people, but now he's like always double checking like birds and shit. Like,
yep.
it could be it.
He actually does take a step forward and says, Your Eminence, if we could not stay in the open for longer than we
Yeah.
need to, please. And he's like, yes, of course, we'll be on our way.
I'm seriously not worried about Zabi with him there. It's just,
Yeah.
he's solid.
So they sort of leave together, and then the Perez-Landreville pair also head together. They seem to be going at a more of a leisurely stroll. There's a little
Aw.
bit of reminiscing happening as they walk up to port.
I mean, it's okay if they stop,
Oh,
have a
there's
little
the cafe
date.
where we had our first
Mhm.
date.
Yeah, a little bit.
They need some time alone.
There's a little bit of
It's
that
okay.
happening.
Aww.
And you're sort of leaving to a different side. Zhenya, you recognize the area as the little dockside cafe facing the coast, where you give your previous message.
I think she would grab Ricardo's hand and be like, "Come see this place. It's very lovely," and just drag him off.
Oh yeah.
Like, oh, we...
The scene from
Oh.
Elf where he's like, "This
Yeah.
is the best coffee in New York," and she's like, "It's just a shitty piece of cup of coffee," and he's like, "What?"
Yeah, Veronica's sort of rolling her eyes as the two sort of dash one ahead of the other.
I beg your pardon.
It's my watch.
Watch farted.
Yeah,
Yeah. Having some feelings.
yeah.
Excuse me.
I just had those feelings. I feel much better, so I respect it.
Stop it!
Right.
No one's talking to
Come
you!
on, wow. Problems?
They're just talking to each other now.
has to.
Tell your children. You need to get your children in line.
I put it on theater mode, so it thinks I'm in a movie theater. And it won't
So
bother
yeah,
me.
no. Apparently it's dramatic. Yeah, that's fucking that means.
As you approach the cafe, you get accosted by this
Large bird.
joyful looking.
Don't put it towards me.
Oh, sorry. Oh yeah, you yeet it onto my stuff. It's like, away. Thank you.
The one day we're not being filmed.
If only you had yeeted it into
Ooh,
the can.
I saw something go that way.
No, it's right here.
Oh. Yeah, you know how to get them.
Yeah, I do.
That's right.
My arms are too short.
I'm the best cat.
Same. Mine are just. This is all the range I got.
I'm
I
just,
know, it's
I'm just really used to hunting them. That's all.
Yep.
So I'm accosted.
Yeah, by this fresh-faced young Castilian girl who is carrying a tray, probably works at the cafe, but she looks just overjoyed to see you and Ricardo and this whole retinue of people.
Wait, are we all going to this place?
Well, I'm sure
Well,
you're right
it
behind
sounds
us.
like we're like right in like it's down the way a little
Mhm.
bit
Yeah.
as we come off the gangplank.
Mm-hmm. It's just off the port as you start to get into town. Like the cafe is basically just right there. And she's like, "Oh, new people. Welcome. Can I give you anything?"
Oh right,
Do
because
you
when you
need
landed,
anything?
they were like, "Oh look, fresh blood,"
Yeah.
and there's a divide onto the xenophobes and the
Yeah.
liberals.
That's true.
Yeah, everybody looks very Castilian out here.
Yeah.
You're definitely all standing out.
Except
for
me.
Jimena.
Yeah.
Jimena.
Just wait.
Marilena might blend a little bit.
Yeah,
but-
Marilena, but
At least,
Yeah.
at least
You're
it's
all-
Mediterranean.
Yeah, the
Like,
two of
yes.
us are like
These two
"Wee!"
whiteys over here.
Yeah. I'm like, hello.
yep. Veronica too.
Yeah.
Right?
Well,
Gringos.
Veronica's blonde, so
Veronica just looks like one of them blonde Spaniards.
Yeah.
yeah.
Probably.
Hey, what time
It's
of day is
very-
it right now?
Russian girl.
Oh, yeah, I know.
It's
Yeah.
midday.
Definitely.
You're, I would say about like 11
She's like you, a Russian weed.
a.m.
Yeah,
A Ruskaboo, right?
Ruskaboo,
Is
there you
is
go.
what I call it. Yeah.
I like it.
If you want the notes, because I had to get this ridiculous.
Oh,
On the
yeah,
wiki.
you've got dates now.
Oh, yeah, no, it's
Yes.
in the,
Give it to me.
Yeah.
Oh, the
Hand it to
wiki.
me.
Ooh.
We're on Tertius 10. It's spring,
Ooh.
Oh, shit.
Year?
1669.
Well, that
that's
means we
actually
have to
more.
wait till next year to get married because it's already the spring.
Well, it's not technically spring yet until
Okay.
the end of the month.
I'm like, it has to be the spring.
Oh, well, no, you're good.
Yeah. Anyway.
Tertius is March,
So we're,
so we're
Um,
like
yeah.
we're at the end of winter.
Yeah.
Yep.
So no, that's beautiful.
No, I need June.
New life.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
new beginnings and all that bullshit.
and all that bullshit.
Sounds
Wow,
good.
so romantic.
And it's gonna start getting warm.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
it'll
Rethel's fine. He just burns beet red and freckles, like, you know.
and San Felipe will get warm
Yeah.
and humid.
Yeah, he's like sun's out, guns out. Let's do this.
Well, that's why Virginia has so many freckles, is because of all the sun she's got.
Mm.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. She freckles when she burns.
Rethel's end is on the
Even
way.
Jimena
too.
has freckles.
Let's just make my olive show.
She's coming.
Mm.
You called her.
I did not.
Oh, that's
Oh,
right.
no.
I sent info. I sent intel to make sure she was appraised of the situation. I guess
Yeah.
she decided that
She somehow got wind that Odisseo might secede, maybe, and she's like, "We're gonna be first setting up."
she wants some
fucking
contracts.
I was already here.
shit." Yeah.
No, hey, that's, you know.
She's like, "Oh, we don't need to negotiate with
She-
the king."
Yeah. She
Good.
decided that it was in the best interest of the guild to start discussing contract, and I'm like, hey, that's her business.
That's her prerogative.
She just happened to have some really good intel.
That's right. That's right.
Because guilders spend everywhere, baby.
As Zhenya is accosted, she says, "I was here moments ago."
Oh God. That's out of
Oh.
character.
Oh,
But Rethel thinks it very loudly.
I was
Yeah.
here not long ago. There was a woman. She was drinking coffee. I want
Actually,
to try
Rethel.
it.
Okay, yeah, Rethel's about to start coughing loudly, but then you're like, I want to try. I'm like, okay,
she looks
not to-
towards where
try
you're
not to-
pointing.
point out who our contacts are.
You almost can see the gears turning in her head, and she says, "Oh, yeah, Catalina. She left in a hurry."
Okay, I still want to try the coffee.
Oh yes, absolutely.
Wait, how? What? Oh!
So if no one else, I slide over and I'm like, hello,
Oh hi.
Hello.
Catalina.
Yes, she's a regular.
I pull up a pouch and I pull out like a couple guilders and I'm like, I'm like, thank you so much for remembering people. Perhaps, and I just sort of hand over the guilders. Like,
she starts to like almost protest a little bit.
Yeah, I'm
and
like-
she's like, "Oh, that's not
and
necessary.
I'm
It's
like,
part of my."
perhaps sometimes you might not remember
So, like, now.
as fast.
Now I want to read her.
Oh. Sure.
In Castilian, Jimena is like, we were never here. I mean, we're here obviously, but we were never here. Okay?
That's so mysterious.
I know, right?
I hear the
And they have,
Castilian.
and then like a,
I hear the Castilian. I look over and I'm like, should I have did I give too much? Should I give more? Like, I'm
Do
just
you
sort of
ask
waiting.
that?
No, because
Okay.
I'm
Ricardo-
smart. So,
Yeah, because Jimena would be like, no, you should. give her
but
more.
anyone who looks at me sees that on my face. Like, did I not haggle enough? Like,
She sort of sidles to Jimena, like Ricardo's eyebrow
just starts to
is
elevate.
sort of is
Ricardo's
threatening
got
to
the-
disappear
Yeah.
under his hat.
He's got,
Like,
he's got a half
It's
Hannah.
going.
It's got the Hannah's.
going to hibernate.
It's
like
got
a
the Miss,
hat.
Yeah.
It's got the Miss
The
Allens.
hat keeps it from flying away entirely.
Yeah.
and she
Gets tangled in the curl.
she she sort of sidles close to Jimena, and she's like, "Are you in some kind of trouble?"
I pull out another one, and I'm like, but if we're around, it's okay if you remember things.
Oh,
And I sort of tie off the purse.
Jimena's like, it's better that you don't know, what's going on. But you might see us pretty often, and it's okay if you talk to us, but if anybody asks you, we were never here. How about that?
I feel like I'm just gonna sit in a corner and order a coffee.
Yes, I
I think
suppose.
in Castilian, Jenya's like, I think what I said was less suspicious than what you two did.
I don't speak Castilian,
Yeah.
I'm still because I have opinions on this, but I don't understand what's going on.
I pretended I did not
You're
know who
reading
she was
her.
saying.
Yeah, well, she
Like,
fucking
well, it's
blurted. Oh, Catalina. So I'm like,
And Jimena's
Wait,
like,
what?
Now we're
Lorenzo
using
made
it.
it weird.
It's the
So
way
now
you
we have.
make it
intuitive.
That's fine.
this is still in Castilian.
Yeah,
yeah.
it's still entirely in Castilian. But she mentioned, she
No, yeah.
motions towards
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, my name, and I'm like,
And then in
Just
Usuran, no, you don't speak Usuran.
no, just Vestin.
No, I
did it.
speak
yeah.
Vestin.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
because
was
you're
like,
the
no.
polyglot. Yeah.
Yeah, well,
That's right.
a little bit. And then invested. You made it weird by giving her money. Now she's suspicious of us. She thinks that we're in
her
trouble.
hubris is the sun.
We're very
Proud.
conspicuous. I'd rather set the expectation to start with.
She she sort of gives you like a
I just
big
wanted coffee.
radiant smile, almost like too warm of a smile, and then she tells you, regardless of where you're from or what troubles you may be in, you're gonna be very safe here. There are no troubles in Liso. And
There is no war, boxing say.
No.
We're here now.
and she
Did
smiles
she, how
at
about
you.
did she twitch a little bit in that smile?
Well,
My name
it,
is Judy.
the smile lasts
Oh my
maybe
God,
just
right?
a
Oh my
little
God.
bit too long.
Actually,
May I-
actually, if she's Judy, then we're fucking set.
May
But
I also use my empathy
I just want to
to
eat them.
try
They're such
to
a pretty
do
color.
an insight? Basically.
Like,
Okay.
With? What should I do
stop
with it?
gnawing on Sally's dice.
Wait.
Get your own dice to gnaw on.
I mean,
I mean, unless I get to use
Mine are
resolve, because I
equally as
always
big.
use resolve.
They
I get
are.
but hers are more.
But I
For
don't
this
think it
width-
makes
That
sense.
looks like it would taste
You're
good.
trying to read.
No, yeah, yours look like they're watermelon.
Your
and
impression.
hers look like
Yes.
they're like I don't know, like a
So
cherry.
many fives.
Look
Why?
great to me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
grapey, little grapey. Wow, that would probably
You
no.
little grape.
Sorry, I regret that.
I was just saying,
dumb.
I want
Grape
your
like-
dice
Grapish?
that actually look like they
Grapish.
taste good.
Grapish.
I got 6. Wait, no, 7 because of its empathy.
6,
7.
7.
Oh, right, that's how we play this game. Right.
9.
Okay, okay.
There's no joy
15 raises.
in that woman.
Okay, but is that like
None.
Is that her normal state of
Like
being?
not like, hey, she's a service
I was about to say
So
she is a
person
waitress,
and
so,
she's just doing the role.
We just had
It's,
that. We just had that bitch fest for an hour and a half. So
she's doing a job.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, she's just not happy with it? Or she's like, is she afraid? Is she...
She's not reflecting what her face.
Correct.
Yeah. It's
She
it's lies.
yeah. There's a threat. In whatever words she said less to Jimena, it's not all meant as reassurance.
Yeah.
But I mean, is the threat towards us? Or is that... I don't know.
That much you can tell.
oh,
Could be.
thread or threat?
Threat.
There are no
Yeah, because there are
problems.
no troubles in
That's right.
Liso.
Oh hell yeah, we're here now, baby. That's what's up.
But that's what she's. It's the no trouble. Like
Oh,
Yeah.
she's being cool about it. Okay.
it's both a there's no troubles here and a there's no troubles here.
So.
Oh,
yeah.
so be cool. Oh well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, whatever, bitch.
Yeah.
Is she on the list? What's
She
her
doesn't.
name? Let's
She
go.
doesn't know you.
Let's get
I
started.
can tell that.
Yeah.
But she's here for you, if that makes sense.
Okay,
That's why she rushed out to meet us.
I like that.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm
Because
not sure
she
how I
saw me
convey
with
that with
Katarina.
with this, but
Yeah.
Who's pulling these strings?
Don't know yet. Whoever they sent me to go talk to. I don't know. I was just a bird.
No.
I just had
so,
paper.
So there's obviously a conspiracy.
With that read, give me a another wit's empathy.
okay.
Well, because there's two different conspiracies. Because there's the one that's making Liso the way it is, and the one that we're trying to help out, who's trying to put it back to normal.
Mhm.
So all the people on the list that we got are the people we need to get rid of,
Right.
Yeah.
who are the ones that are being shitty and making it.
Okay. Because we're the good baddies, not the
Yes.
bad baddies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Correct.
Well, she knows Katarina, so she's probably part of that situation.
I think
It's
Catalina.
Catalina?
Yeah,
Nine?
like the island.
Mm-hmm.
She's connected to almost
the
every
Thomas
single
Wesley?
person
Yes.
here.
Which is named after the island.
Here as in
Good God.
us,
I
or
think
here
Katarina's
as
from
in
a different
Liso?
game.
Everybody who's in the cafe.
She was in Vampire.
In
There's
yeah.
a bunch of customers
the-
out and they're chatting and they're having fun.
Mokavian.
The impression you get
Oh,
into how she's
yeah.
connected
Good times.
to them, and they seem genuine. They're having a good time and they're talking, and you don't sense that any of that is fake. It's not stage. People are having fun and they're relaxing and they're having a good time.
They haven't gotten a full eye full of us.
But when you read her and how she's connected to everybody in the cafe, the only image that comes into your head almost to comprehend what that relationship is like is like a warden watching prisoners just milling about a prison yard.
Oh shit, we gotta
shit.
abduct her.
Wait, okay.
She's on this fucking list.
I'm gonna spend a hero point
She's
to
part of
pattern
the
sight.
network.
Okay.
Which
Remind me-
basically lets me perceive a portion of the weave in greater detail, identifying future trends and significant relationships.
Okay.
I'm pursuing this because, like, that was a weird reaction, I guess. So I'm like,
She's you're pattern sighting, and for a second, who's closest to you in the group right now?
So-
Who you're standing next to?
I actually sat down, like, in a corner, so I probably the last.
I think we're still outside though.
Oh,
yeah.
really?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
we're-
an outside cafe.
Oh,
There's
we're- yeah,
tables
we're
outside.
like-
and-
Oh, okay,
We're
so
like-
then I sat
we're
down
on,
in
like-
a corner.
Yeah, we're like at the edge of the entry point.
I think
Because
whoever.
I'm still because I haven't moved in.
yeah, it's overlooking the water. Like you're sort of in an open
probably
plaza.
ruffled then,
Okay.
because I would have been towards the back.
Rethel, Marlena is seating down. She goes limp for like a second or two.
Oh,
like
okay,
she's
yeah,
about
no,
she's about to pass out.
Yeah, I totally.
Like she sort of tips in her seat a little bit, and she's starting to slide almost off her chair.
I think the others would notice that I sort of like shift at that because I'm like what, and then I see she recovers and like
Oh, I really need some coffee. Apparently.
During that 1 or 2 second, you tap into the weave and how these things are connected, and the reason why you almost passed out is that your brain struggles to comprehend what's happening because she's a piece of a much greater whole. There is a web over the city.
Mm-hmm.
But of the people here, she seems to be more in the know about it than the others.
You feel she's connected to this place, and you see her connected to other points or connected to other places.
she's like the anchor point of this web, and then yeah.
Best that you can guess, she's one cog in one big machine, maybe overseeing the majority, if not all, of this city. Roll me a pure wits roll.
Sure. Oh, gross. Wait, this is not.
Yeah, no, we do math different in this game.
It's just when I see lots of ones, I just go gah.
I mean, it still sucks, but
Yeah,
It
I
might
still
not-
only got
it
one.
might not be as
The
horrible.
phone is yelling at you.
Telling me to take my meds. Even says, evening meds.
Wow, wow.
Yeah, it's like extra funky.
You don't have an immediate answer, but with one The only thing you can relate it to is your brief time around Sophia's daughters and how they structure themselves. It seems like a spy network. That's the closest analogy you can find.
And you just made us really shitty. Open.
I mean, if they don't know who we are, then they're really bad at what they do. So, like, the fact that I'm trying to be like, hey, be cool, is probably has no bearing.
So, we don't even know what her name is yet, right? If
Nope.
I can,
No,
and
she's
she's
just
not
the chick
busy,
who works
Do you
at
wanna
the
know her
cafe.
maybe.
I got that.
If she's not busy, then I'll like flag her down and say, oh, well, we just got in from, we're fresh off the boat, so to speak.
We're part of the governor's fucking retinue,
Entourage.
so like, there's no secret about us.
No, I'm just saying what I say. And I say that my name is Marilena, and I ask about the menu, and I show interest in all the specialty coffees. I'm just trying to seem ordinary, which is something we weren't doing this whole time.
Yeah, she.
I was excited for a treat.
I was ready to mosh pit this whole fucking city. I'm ready to break shit, but okay.
She.
This will take some time.
No, she sells you on it like she's making commission, right?
Yeah.
Like it's basically talks about how great this place is, and how great the people are. She talks a little bit about some of the local delicacies, and of course talks about their coffee, who's this new thing from the New World, and it's taking them by storm, and people love to.
I want it.
Yeah, you everybody who ordered stuff, you get
Yeah.
your orders brought in.
And I ask her what for the first time drinker, what would you recommend?
Oh, she recommends you that coffee wholeheartedly. Like she's
Is
like
it drugged?
she's like we have a couple blends, but we don't have a lot yet because we're still trying to establish like the right shipping lanes, and we're still trying it. It seems like it's going to be popular, so I think the owner is going to go pretty hard into it, and she's super happy to share those details with you.
All right. Well, I'm gonna go drink my coffee and see if I die.
You don't.
In fact, now you feel like you can climb 8 mountains.
That's right. That's right. It is bitter.
Oh, sorry. That was louder than I thought it would be.
Do you communicate any of this to the rest of us when she flares off to go get the coffee? Or
Yeah,
Absolutely.
she.
So I guess this is the impression I would give you. She is very observant. She will remember you after you leave. She knows everybody here. She is very connected. She probably... I have not figured out what side, if any, she is on. But she's connected to everything here. So I would be careful. But I wouldn't antagonize her.
do we want to know if she's on the list?
It might be a good idea to check that, but...
Can I see her from where I'm at?
Oh yeah.
Just
Yep.
I pull out my fork, and I just sort of stick it into the table and glare towards her.
Perfect.
And I run my thumb against the inscription, the etching on the bone, and I use my ability as a skald to as a Sather to get her true name, her actual name.
All right. You get a ping that her name is Antonia Lopez.
With an A?
Yep.
Antonia or Antonio?
Antonia.
Okay, that's what I thought.
She a lady.
I was like, oh, we're really deep cover. All right, cool. Does that ring a bell of being on the list or not?
No.
Okay.
No, she's just a random lady.
Oh,
I don't think she's random lady.
Well, no, I mean, as far as we're concerned, she's a random lady, but I'm saying, like,
Yeah.
she is one of, as probably
She's
been,
likely
she's been planted at this cafe
to
because it's
filter
right
info.
near the port,
Mhm.
and she is one of a network of people that are there to be like, yes, have a good time in a very specific way.
Yep.
And if you fuck up, she's one of the first people who's going to make sure you get
You
get taken to Lake Laudai.
Gotcha.
Oh yeah, I want them to try to break me. I have like legendary resolve now.
When she returns, again, all smiles and rainbows with everybody else's orders, she asks you, Marilena, so you just arrived. Do you have a place to stay yet? I have recommendations.
We're just looking into that, and I will take all recommendations. As I said, we're new here.
Yeah, I'd love to know where not to stay.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, sure. And she hands you like a piece of parchment. It looks like it's one of many. The same, right? Like they look like things you would hand out new people coming in, right? Like tourists, and there's a list of 4 or 5 different establishments there.
It's like the display of like what to do while you're in
Oh
Southern
yeah, no,
California.
that's great.
Right.
Yeah, no. If I didn't want to murder a significant percentage of the populace, like this would be great.
Yeah.
And she says, there are many other nice places, but those are some of the best. I would highly recommend you stay at those. It was a little hard to find good places to stay at and good businesses before Governor Perez came over. You know, with the liberation movement in full swing, things were difficult for us, but it's so much better now. The governor has made such strides in getting our people united again, and now
With all the time
we're
he
in a good
spends
place.
in San Felipe, who's keeping things warm on his desk over here?
Oh, he left some very good marching orders before leaving.
I can like feel those like
Yep. She and then she says like, I hope that the governor does for San Felipe what he's done for
It's
us.
funny because like it's part of my headcanon is that he's like sitting there with us, but no, it sounds like they
No.
yeah
They
they
left.
left.
they headed straight off. Yeah.
Good
Mhm.
thing too.
Oh yeah, no, yeah. United.
And she's like, yeah, like it used to a little bit hard. There was a lot of violence on the streets. It was not good for our people. But Governor Perez came in, and then we've had a few people come and stay in the city. Just great people, university professors, clergy folks. The town has really picked up. Liso's a good place to live now.
Oh, that sounds pleasant.
Oh, it absolutely is. Look around you.
Look around.
Yes. Well,
So we came here originally to help drum up patriotism for Odiseo, and help prepare them for the impending move-in of the Castilian. But it sounds like the whole place has been Stepford-wived
Yeah.
into being part of Castile.
Yeah.
So I'm tempted to go recollect the governor and the what's his bucket,
Zombie.
Inquisitor.
the Inquisitor,
Yeah.
and be like, lost cause. Let's fucking get back on the boat. We'll send our ships over here to fucking blockade this port, and then just accept whoever comes
of
in
course
to
you
San
think that, because
Felipe.
you're a Vestin. You can think of a solution with ships.
I'm like, I don't look. It's either we roll through the streets murdering everyone, which I'm on board for. Let's do it. But that's not going to make us look cool
Well, but
to the people who are like,
I
nice
think
here.
for the most part, it's one of those things where like the average person that lives in Liso just thinks like, no, we live in a great town, it's fine. But then you have the network, then you have the fucking, what are they called? The Daily coming around here.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck. This is Bossing Say. I don't
Yeah.
Yeah, this is pretty much
and
what
if you
we're
can
setting up.
and if you can lock up Bossing Say so that they're not fucking with everyone else's shit.
Well, but it might not have gotten past there yet, which is why we need to take out these specific people, because they're the people that are, for the most part, that are orchestrating.
By the way, well, I've got
This-
my read and department site on. Can I sense anybody who is on?
I mean, that's what we're gonna do.
Doesn't match.
And that's why we're trying to get the cardinal on our side.
Roll me a
Because she is a super
perception.
patriot. So if she knows that there's people here being
so-
shitty
Yeah, what's notice?
and like,
Yeah, but there's obviously law and order here through whatever nefarious means, and it is indeed a peaceful space and bringing.
but
in
is it really
chaos.
law and order though?
Yeah, even if it's corrupt fucking, mafia style, it is order, even if it's not 100% law. And I'm like,
Seven.
oh,
7.
San Felipe was rife with unrest, so we just rolled through.
You
Yeah, but
notice
So all these people that we're trying to get rid of are directly connected to Cardinal Verdugo,
Yeah.
who, if she is an agent of Good King
you
Sandoval,
see an
she would
older
want to get rid of
gentleman
them also.
Yeah.
at one of the corner table who finishes a cup of coffee, and he's not radiating the same joy of life that everybody else is radiating.
That's
He's
who
not
we talk to.
he's
Citizen.
not causing a scene,
Yeah.
but he looks tired, a little
Compliance is-
jittery. And then for a second, he sort of looks over the port. He looks at the gulls, and and as he scans, his eyes meet yours,
Citizen, joy is compulsory.
and and the moment his eyes rest on yours, and you're looking at him intently, he puts his cup on the table and stands up and leaves.
How
Is
long
this
have
the
I been
fucking
here?
place with the cup language? No, somewhere else. Am I thinking of a different
Have
game?
I been here long enough that it wouldn't seem odd if I suddenly just left?
So spoilers. That's a metal fucking thing to do. But later, yeah, we'll see. Yeah.
There's enough milling about that
It's
you
like the
think
fans
you
from
can
teacups.
probably leave without it seeming too weird. You're pretty convinced Antonia will catch it.
Antonio will remember this.
I mean,
Correct.
Zhenya's making enough of a scene. This is so good. Bring me another. I want to try a different one.
Yeah.
Kasha, have you had this one?
Why
Ricardo,
is the cup so small?
Veronica is sort of like looking around like she's fish out of water.
Pull out the
there
tanker.
for a
Now
bit.
fill
Oh,
this
yeah.
one.
Ricardo looks like he's partaking in what is happening, and he's discussing coffee, and he seems to be enjoying it. He looks very tense.
Yeah, well, Zhenya knows something's up, so she's trying to call all the attention to her.
That's right.
So it's just
he's
like...
playing along, but he looks
Yeah.
tense. He's not as good as
And there's lots of like cuddling up and like, oh, look at these. Oh, yeah. Body,
I start
I
inspecting.
will support you.
I start inspecting one of the cups and invest in. It sounds like I'm
Yeah.
muttering about investment. But I'm like, you let me know if I need to make a bigger scene because these things look shatterable as fuck. And I just
So are you trying to catch up
necessary just yet.
to this gentleman?
I'm not going to
Well,
hurry.
I
I'm
don't
just
need
gonna
necessary.
finish my cup. I might tell
Vaguely
whoever's near
useful.
to me. I'm going to check out the market. I want to see what sort of cloth they have in this area.
maybe Jimena should take a walk with you. If we're gonna split the party, we might as well do it in
the
teams.
language.
Yeah, we don't want.
And she can haggle.
I can actually speak it too.
Yeah, we know that you're an adept businesswoman, but someone who or a local who can help haggle probably useful.
All right.
As you step away from the table, Antonia sort of waves.
I mean, I deliberately address her and say, "Thank you so much for your advice, and I will
How
see you
much
again
do you-
soon. I'm sure."
How much do you think to fill a tankard?
she sort of gives you like a big wave as you leave, and she says,
Just
"Don't
the
forget to
obnoxious-
check out my recommendations."
I
And-
wave the paper, of
I'm
course.
not sleeping there.
We should check them out though.
Yeah, well, we're gonna check them out, but I'm not sleeping there.
We need to get a letter back to Xavier.
Oh,
and be
I'm like, we can stay there,
We
but
need to
I'm
get
gonna
a
be
letter-
like,
we need to get a letter back to Xavier to be like, you need to check these places out. Get out in Blood Mage.
So I
Let's
guess
go.
at this point, I'm going to try to... Because I'm trying not to look like I'm hurrying or deliberate, but I also have certain skills that make it easier for me to follow people without seeing.
Right.
You know. So...
So you both turn the corner
I do.
around
Find you,
following
and I
this
will
gentleman. Everybody roll me wits notice.
I didn't think I was going to have to go to the guild as soon as we got in here, but like now I'm like, well, I might as well stroll in there and be like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah, what the hell? Ugh, this is like the worst roll.
Oh, you know, the Castilian Mafia. You know. All right, 15s are good. Okay, cool. Okay, we'll do that. Oh, and I can reroll. Haha! I remember this game. Remember how
May
this game goes?
I make a request to use Resolve instead because I really want to catch up with
Oh,
him.
sure.
It's extremely
I got
important.
6.
6?
Okay.
Elena zooms off, and Jimena's like, "Hey,"
Yep.
with her fucking
Yeah.
pastry.
Jimena's
Yeah.
used to it. It's
Okay, I've got...
I mean, Jimena is basically like the anime character who's late
5.
for school, just walking with toast hanging out of
Yep.
her mouth.
5.
6.
Okay. Those of you.
I'm still going.
Oh,
Math.
Do math.
Oh, 12 and 3 is 15. Wow. Wow. Wow.
Jeez,
Wow.
Wilson, what's up with this?
wow.
Yeah, 2, 4, 6.
Oh, wow.
Flex.
Nice.
It's mostly the wits. My notice is still just 2 because I got a rep to protect.
Those of you at the cafe, it's not really subtle or covert, but just in the bustle could be easy to miss. The moment they turned the corner, one of the staff members basically went and had a peek as to the direction they were headed, and then went right back into the cafe. The two of you, that gentleman is hauling ass. He's not running, but he looks in a hurry to get to wherever he needs to be getting. The moment he turned that corner, that pace got fast. He's wrapped his coat around him, and he's power walking.
He's like a teenage boy who came out of a porn shop.
And suddenly, yeah, that's right.
Oh
My
He's hiding them just like
my
right there. He's
dude
touching
peeling
them.
off from the porn shop story that I was telling earlier.
Yep.
Yep. And then jack off! Come on!
Oh, dear.
I'm in a hurry! Right?
Oh God, I'm sorry.
Um,
I'll leave.
you see him, like, at some point almost fall on his ass because he tried to go in one direction. He saw people coming that way and then immediately just changed route. Which is, made him look super sus.
Yeah, he's like a
So,
sus
but
now.
you're thinking that at this point he's probably panicking to the point of not really maintaining his like, oh, I gotta look not suspicious.
Mhm.
Jimena, roll me a wit scholarship. You know what, Tony? I should have had you roll on this earlier when you read the list, but if you can do me a, we'll go with sailing because that's sort of your usual business sense.
So probably wits plus sailing.
Yeah.
Oh well. Watch the fuck out. Here comes all the dice.
Brain. Math. Adding. There we go. Okay, I got it.
I feel like I could earn at least 1 hero point off of this. Okay, I've got...
Okay, I got 4.
4.
Made it happen for myself.
You recognize the tabards of those people coming in, and they're walking down the street. They're, they look armed, but they look like they're just walking in a detachment of about like 5 or 6, and they're just chuckling and laughing and egging each other on. Like they're not on any
Like they clearly did not notice that dude.
No,
But that dude just noticed them.
they're not even paying attention. But they're wearing cloaks, and you recognize the symbol on it as Winter Sun, the mercenary company in Liso.
Them bitches.
Yeah, they're a well-known mercenary company led by a hero from the war between Castile and Montaigne.
That's someone we're looking for.
3 fucking dice that don't add up.
We're looking for the hero.
6.
Right.
6
That bitch on our
successes
list.
6?
off the wits plus sailing,
Yeah, so you would have walked into the city with that knowledge. We're gonna nosebleed this.
which is
The list, when you read it, all those names are Castilian except one. The top
I
name,
mean, we could have
the
guessed.
bankroller, you know that guy.
Of course.
Halfdan Nyberg is an ex-guild member who was a very talented raider and businessman, but basically got cut off for doing very unscrupulous deals that the guild felt was reflecting poorly on the guild's reputation. He's the one supposedly bankrolling this whole operation, and apparently very successful.
I need you guys to come back. Well, we'll see. We'll see how it shakes down. We'll see how it gets there.
So those dudes technically are Prophet Sword. In theory.
Yep. According to the intel you got, they're basically
Winter Sun are like covert.
Yeah.
Or
Prophet
covert
Sword is not
operators for
operating in those streets openly because hey, nothing's happening here. There's
Yeah.
there's no need for armed guards. This is just like a successful mercenary company. They're doing jobs.
How big is this mercenary company? Like how powerful? Oh, sorry. I would have a idea.
Oh,
of
you
this.
would have a good idea. It's a known one. Like
Okay.
they probably have members in the hundreds because they've exported services.
Okay.
Like they've done jobs out of Castile before and
Okay.
are well known enough that other nations have called them by name.
Okay.
Again, it's riding a lot on Rafaela's reputation. She made a name for herself during the war, especially, and that
Which one's Rafaela?
Rafaela Navarro.
hero.
She's the lead
Oh.
of Winter Sun,
Oh,
and she's on that list.
we know her from somewhere else though.
No.
No.
We know her from the list.
Okay.
Rethold would know her as the lead of Winter Sun because
Okay.
you've come across
Yeah.
the name before.
Sure.
You've not dealt with them personally, but it's a known entity. All right, the two of you, are you matching speed? Are you letting the old men go?
I want to still follow.
Okay. That detachment is not paying attention to you all, right? They're basically just doing their thing. Yeah. They're paying attention to each other more than they are paying
I
attention to
mean,
you all.
honestly,
There's a bit of arrogance into that, in a
Oh,
way,
right.
because of what you know, right? Like you're like, yeah, you think you got this on lockdown, so
basically, I think what I want to do is follow until I absolutely have to break into a run because I don't want to. If I have to, then I'll stop and just note the direction.
if you keep following for a bit, eventually he starts to take side streets to try to get out of sight, and that's sort of where you can sort of hurry your pace a little bit and catch up to him. Same with you, Jimena, if you're also
You had to
following.
grab Jimena to get her to come with you because she got distracted for a minute.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I do.
But yeah, eventually you catch up to this man, and when you catch up to him, how do you approach him?
Where do I catch up to him?
One of the side streets, just away from prying eyes. He looks like he's about to duck into a building.
Is the building locked? I probably just
Well,
walk
he's fiddling with the key right now to try to get in. Maybe he lives there.
Yeah, I'm just gonna I'm gonna take a risk and just approach him. Not like threateningly. I'm just gonna say, I'm going to say, I believe that you want to talk with me.
He crumples into a heap. His key clatters on the ground. He was shaking too much to open it anyways, but the moment your voice rings out, he is on the ground and he's covering his head and he's like, I did nothing. I saw nothing. I promise. I am just going back home. I'm just going back home. I work in a few hours.
Sir, calm down. Just let us in. We can talk inside. You are not in trouble. In fact, if anything, I'm in trouble. But
he's not shouting because he doesn't,
Want to call more attention?
He doesn't want to call more attention.
please just stand up and act like we are visiting you.
He is this close to a panic. He is
That's
on the
what
ground.
Really good to have me around.
Sort of like he keeps talking, like you try to get words in, and he's like, I don't know anything, I see nothing. Please, I just want to go home, get ready for my work. I will go to my job, I promise. I will stop hanging out at that cafe if you don't want me to do that anymore. I will go straight home and to work and to home, and I will not dally.
Jimena grabs one of her ampules.
Uh-oh.
It's fine. And pops the cork on it. And just sort of leans forward and waves it under his nose. If it works the way it's supposed to, it should calm him down.
If it works the way it's supposed to.
Guess we'll see.
We'll find out.
Otherwise, I guess I'm...
I mean, I feel like this one is probably literally just lavender oil.
Right.
Not everything she does is weird chemical
No.
bullshit.
It's mad science!
Always. It does seem to snap him out of it somewhat.
Deep breaths.
He rolls to his butt a little bit, and he's still clutching his coat, almost like it's a security blanket.
No.
Like he's pulling his thing tight, and he's looking at you. There's sheer terror in those eyes.
I understand why you're afraid, and I don't know if there's anything I can do to calm you down, but you must speak with me. I know it is so.
And he sort of, at this point, he's whispering almost
Jimena's wait, but I don't understand why he's afraid.
he sort of says, and he's like, I know nothing. I don't know anything. I don't know what to tell you.
Then just let me sit with you for a bit. You will invite us in, yes? It is better than us standing outside. It could be seen as unusual, yes?
Do I have a choice?
No.
Not at this point.
Jimena's just I don't know what's happening, but I can tell you that we've been following you for a while, and I am tired. So, if we could please come inside your house, I would like to sit down.
And you mentioned you've
get to
been
eat my
following him
pastry.
for a while. He's like, oh, Theus, oh God. He's picking up his key, and he picks himself off the floor and dusts his coat and starts to unlock the door and pushes it in. This place is sad. He lives in not really squalor, but it's you've seen much better. It's clearly lives here by himself, and the moment he allows you inside, the shame hits him as to the state that his lodgings are in. He immediately starts picking up stuff
You
off
didn't
the
have
floor.
a chance to clean up before you came
Yeah.
over.
No.
I understand.
It's the fear is replaced temporarily by a certain panic as he clears a
You
path.
gotta get us a sad Jose. Good job. Fuck.
If anybody,
Jose.
Yeah.
I mean,
right?
it's my fault, but
Jose
yeah.
Triste.
Yeah.
yeah, if anybody recruits a sad Jose, will be Megan.
That's
you
true.
know this.
It would
Oh, watch out! He's gonna kill him.
It's cancer season.
Oh no!
No.
No!
Time to cry in public.
Oh no!
You just did.
Yeah. Sad Jose did it. But yeah, after a little
Hashtag we're all
bit,
sad Jose.
Drawn to your people.
he has set up seating space for you. All three chairs are mismatched.
We will burden you with glorious purpose.
And he sort of sits down, sort of takes off his coat and folds it and puts it on the chair.
I let him like calm down and get situated in his
I'm gonna make
space.
it worse. Like
Yeah.
the anticipation. Ooh.
He looks.
No.
He looks at through the window. That window's dirty as fuck. Like you don't. From where you're sitting, you're like, can you really see out there? Like it's a placebo,
Well, that's
right?
the
Yeah.
point, is no one can see in.
Right.
Yeah. I'm like, I think that lock is ceremonial at best, just to keep the actual homeless people out of his house.
Totally. It's just make sure like somebody who's drunk doesn't tumble in when leaning against the door, right? And then he sort of looks at both of you like expectantly.
So, I think I'm gonna try my very best to be as convincing as possible. But what I will say is, I followed you because I saw in your eyes a desire for some sort of change that you cannot necessarily make happen yourself or believe in. You met my eyes. None other had. You don't feel this is right. The situation here. And I connected with that.
His eyes sort of dart between the two of you, and you can tell plain on his face right now whether he's like, is this a trap? Like, am
I understand that you were.
Yeah.
I understand that
Not
you
in the
cannot
way you think.
trust
Yeah, right.
that I am speaking the truth given the situation you're in and the city is in. So, I will tell you my name. I am Marilena de Verno. I am in certain circles wanted as a heretic. So, I am giving you the opportunity to learn something about me that would put me in grave danger. Because I want you to understand that I am on your side.
Great, now one woman is in
Yeah,
my
it's
house.
just making it worse.
right? No, I hold secrets. Roll me a panache convince.
When she lies there like a
Jimena, you see him go through the roller coaster as she's speaking. He's going up and down.
Oh, good,
like,
there's breathing.
oh,
Okay.
these fucking fingermen came to my place to
For
test
real?
my loyalty.
5.
They're trying to check
I just
if
rolled
I'm,
3 10s in a row right
Hell
there.
yeah.
if I'm
So
gonna
Nice.
crumble.
if this is not
um,
like me subscribing to a dangerous action that I believe in is destiny, I don't know what is, man.
Yep. You-
Give me my
you
hero
got
point,
that.
please.
You got that.
Okay.
And yeah, as she's revealing more, you can see
10.
the gears are starting to turn a little bit more. Like he's starting to be like, well, even the spies wouldn't necessarily say this shit even as a joke, because that could get them in trouble. And the church doesn't like to mention that it harbors heretics
I am.
because that damages their holier than thou attitude. Even though in reality, we all know how that goes.
I am attuned to these things, and I would not have seen you if this was not true. I hope you understand.
He calms down significantly. The first words that come out of his lips after that is, who are you? And then he stops and he says, don't answer that. I don't want to know.
Well, you do have my name. But
Well, it's too late for that. We're her.
we have...
I'm not going to tell you anything.
But you're not from Liso.
No. We are not. We are bringing change. But we are new here. And so we need to get a lay of what is happening in the city. From my short time here, I figured some of it out. But I don't want you to put yourself in any more danger than you already are. And if you feel you are, I can send you somewhere else. But that said, if you know any other places where people that have similar sentiments would meet, all you have to do is give me a name, give me a place, point me in a direction, and I'll find it.
He takes a few breaths as if to steady himself and then says, the city is wrong. All wrong.
I can feel that. There is something overarching. It touches every part of this city. I want to find where the heart of it is and cut out the things that are poisoning this place.
He sort of grabs at his pants, right, like in his lap, and you see his hands are still shaking. And he says, it started slowly, just little things, like maybe it would not be so bad if we just accepted to be part of Castile, just like the rest, that Odisseo had come and gone, that we should just let it go. And then it started to become something more, like maybe the fact that so many strangers were living in Odisseo was why we had lost our way, that people from other nations were leading us astray, and we had to remember what it was like to be good Castilians. That we could still take pride in that. My wife was Crescent, so she did not like that. About 4 months ago, she went to her job and she never came back. I got her jewelry sent to me in an envelope about 3 weeks later, and he's looking at that sad double bed in the corner of the apartment.
No. We definitely
Are there
have
candles
the
in
sad to
this
say.
room?
Oh yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah.
This is definitely Jose Triste.
This is
We
not
found
helping
him.
my desire to start smashing
Yeah,
cups and silverware and just
Yeah.
The room
We're gonna
is.
start the fucking jihad right now.
Amanda hasn't said anything,
Rethold stands up in the middle of the cafe for no reason.
Yeah.
but all
I
of
thought
the
you were offended
candles,
for no reason.
all of the candles are getting brighter. It's getting a lot warmer in this room, and Jimena's just kind of sitting there staring at him, like she hasn't said anything in a minute, but she's just kind of like,
It's happening.
So I was already thinking about this before this happened, and I'm like, we're calling this Operation Dusk because we're fucking wrecking those winter
sundowning.
suns.
this.
Yeah,
Like,
that's right.
Yeah.
He says, I work a menial job now. I used to work at the Universidad. I know a few folks there who've decided to take a stand.
It is a dangerous thing to do.
Many of them have died. Many of my previous coworkers have not made it. But the change took hold, I think, at first out of pride and then eventually out of fear, because the rumors we've got out of San Felipe were not the best. But
We are the rumors.
Yeah,
But information control is very well established in this city. If you're trying to bring what's actually happening, it gets squashed, it gets sanitized, and it gets chewed up and spit into something that will benefit the people in power. I don't even know who they are. The governor has been away for some times to try to quell rebellions in San Felipe, and instead, now we have this.
See.
The church is not taking any ownership of this. In fact, Cardinal Verdugo himself has said he does not need to intervene in Liso because Liso is peaceful. And it is. That's because any rabble rousers is basically black-bagged and either taken out of the city or taken out permanently.
They probably don't tell you which. That makes the fear grow.
The reason why I was afraid is because I know one day they'll also come for me like they have for my wife. My days are numbered.
Yes.
I left the university, I took a job as a laborer, I keep my nose clean, I go to work, I come back home, I have coffee in the morning.
Never again.
But this is not the life you want to lead. Your heart is telling me you want revolution, even though your sense of security and the desire for security tells you otherwise.
I don't have it in me.
I understand. You don't have to do it yourself.
He takes a piece of parchment and then pulls out a very dirty pair of spectacles and pulls out an inkwell and then writes basically an address on the parchment. He rolls it and hands it to you, almost like as if he doesn't have the strength to say it out loud.
So, alright, can I read it and then hand it to Yamina? Because I'm not keeping that shit.
Sure. You can commit it.
Okay.
And he says,
We don't need any paper shredders. We just got a Jimena.
No, and if
He's
he
got an incinerator.
if he hadn't already committed himself to being disappeared, I'm sure her going, would have made it
Well, I
pants
can't.
the first
I
time.
can't do that.
Oh, right.
Because I
You have
can't
to, you have to
create
start
fire.
with one. Yeah.
I'm a pyro, not a Zuko.
Yeah, right.
While we're here in
Embossing say.
Yes,
Bossing
right.
Say,
Yep.
I am not a firebender. I'm only a fire manipulator. I have X-Men powers, not bender powers.
He says, my information might be out of date, mind you, but
Yeah,
this
it's
used to be at least a spot to meet like-minded individuals, usually scholars or school types who think the current regime is wrong. He digs under a dirty pile of clothes into what looks to be a floor panel that lifts up,
Oh, shit.
and he pulls up a little chest and pulls out what looks like to be a signet ring.
Yes,
Um,
more symbols for us to hand over to people.
Correct.
To show that we're cool.
You know this one, though, at least, Jimena and Marilena, because it's the same seal that the scholar you freed on your way up here had.
Oh,
It's
this
the
is
symbol of the
college.
invisible college. And he sort of sighs and looks like a great weight is upon him and says, my wife has paid for this affiliation instead of me, and I have to live with that for the rest of my life. Take it. Make use of it.
I will. But I do hope that it is better to go on your own terms than live in fear. Maybe one day you will understand when there are more people to hold the torch.
I don't disbelieve you. I just
It has been long, yes.
don't know if I have it in me to believe in anything. Not right now. And he sort of sits back into the chair and he's contemplating ghosts for a bit, as if he's just suddenly exhausted.
Yeah, Jimena has been kind of holding the paper, just kind of going over committing it to memory. And then she walks over to one of the candles and she lights it with the fire in the candle and then holds it in her hand and does a thing so that it goes up faster. She makes sure that he sees it and she's like, it doesn't actually matter if you're a good Castilian. They come for you anyway. And then she just puts the flame out.
You see the flame just reflected in his spectacles for a second. You can almost see on his lips him murmuring the words El Fuego. And there's just a sigh as he sort of looks at both of you almost reevaluating and says, make use of the ring. I know I have no right to ask that of you, but make my wife's sacrifice worth something.
I will.
Jimena stops for a second, now that she's been dramatic. She's back and she's like, quick question though. What's your name?
I'm Hector.
It doesn't matter what your name is. You're not Jose.
No, it's Jose.
You're coming with us.
Unfortunately, I can't see how I can get him out right now.
It's like,
Oh, you just drag him out.
it's like
We're no, we're dragging him out in the middle of the night.
Hector, huh? Well,
Fucking street. Let's go. Let's fucking start. Let's get wild. No,
I mean-
I'm not there. I'm not there. I'm not there.
No, seriously though, I am thinking about it because
Well, she's-
this guy
fucking
may
stuff.
Reto,
certainly
you
die.
hear the battle songs in your
Yeah,
head.
no, the blood's thumping. I'm like, this
Somehow
coffee's
I'm
really
feeling
strong.
it too. What's up with that?
I've never felt like this before, guys.
Jimena, it's like, can I borrow it real quick? And she grabs the quill and writes down, Mendez y Mendez, attorneys at law.
Yep.
San
As it's
Felipe.
documented on the wiki, public services.
Yeah,
Because
public
it's an organization
services.
category.
Yes. Yes.
LLC.
Yep.
Yep.
Mhm. We provide a number of services.
And she's just like, if you feel that you need to leave, it's like, go here. We'll take care of you. I'm Russian again for some reason. Doesn't matter.
Everybody
You're-
wants to be you.
You're channeling Grigia.
I
And
know.
if they ask, you tell them, I'm a Jose now.
Right? It's like,
Say, yo soy Jose Triste.
Yes. Yes, we've already picked your name out and everything.
right? It's like,
They'll give you the shirt and the little name badge.
Yeah.
Get you locked in.
it's like, if you ever get tired of being Hector, consider being a Jose.
The orientation
this-
video.
Yeah.
The
Go
best
to this
sales
address
pitch.
in San Felipe. We will take care of you. You won't have to be yourself anymore.
We even have a training camp on a beautiful
The
island in the
greatest sales
Mediterranean.
pitch. Join something greater than
And
you,
yourself.
Hector.
That's right.
Shouldn't we tell him where the boat
Be a
is?
part of a family.
Have
Yeah.
you lost your way?
I'm trying to pull the blurb I put on the page for Jose, because you fuckers made me create one.
That's right.
Because I had to organize them in one spot.
Jose isn't a person. Jose is a state of being.
It's an official title.
It's shockingly like what it is. I'm trying to pull it up on my phone. So
It's
you
a
can
fucking
read it.
brotherhood. That's what it is.
Yeah.
It's all good.
It's your new family.
But yeah, and she's like, yeah, she just slips him the address.
And
Be
a
like,
paycheck.
it's like, no questions asked. Just bring yourself. Come work for Mendez y Mendez.
He seems to contemplate this
And she kind of winks at him too.
for a bit. Like again, he looks like a lot of the energy has been drained out of him,
Yeah.
but there's like a nod and a look of recognition.
We could use a smart Jose.
Right?
Yeah.
What are we saying? All the other ones are dumb? No, I'm just kidding.
I mean,
Well, this one's a scholar.
Yeah.
Sorry, we don't have one of those
Like,
yet.
Jose Palabra's good with the books. Like
Yeah.
he's a math whiz. He's on it. But
Yeah.
he was Palabra just because it was one of the first words that came up. Not necessarily because he's good with words.
That's right.
yeah.
No way.
It's good to have a scholar on hand.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's right.
To make like a shitty like pitch video. Like, are you tired?
Like
of
Captain
being
America
your
sitting on a chair.
Yeah.
No, it's totally like it's just Rethel there like this, and it's like
Yeah.
that's what the fucking vest in the background all these videos.
It's like, are
Yep.
you tired of being yourself? Do you want to be part of an organization that values you? Well, come to Mendez y Mendez with like the ads like flashing on the
Yeah, you got the VHS like bars at the bottom.
Yeah.
The tracking
Mhm.
lines.
and like Jimena very clearly like reading a cue
From the
card.
prompter, yeah.
Yeah, I'm like all those like pauses have to be like
I think.
and be something
Right.
Yeah.
part of.
Like I'm an employee because we don't
Like,
have the budget.
She's
to
not
hire
looking
actors.
at the camera, she's looking slightly to the left of the camera, so it's like she's not looking at you, just sort of near you.
So, before I go,
Yep.
I am going to change his virtue.
Yeah.
I'm going to give him adaptable
Okay.
coins.
You got it.
And as I'm doing it, I will lean towards him saying, thank you so much for listening to us and telling us your story, Hector. I wish you the best of luck, and I hope
Jose,
we will
Hector.
see each other again. And I give
Starting
him
to
a
sow the
kiss
seeds.
on the cheek, chaste. And I change his virtue.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Hector is now adaptable.
Because I want this guy to survive, but I think he's got the smarts to work something out, so I'm just giving him an edge.
All right. So, while this is all happening,
Here's a gun. Yeah.
here's a gun.
Here's a gun and a knife.
Here's your badge and gun.
One will attract attention, the other will not.
I mean,
I think you're smart enough to know which you need at the time.
Right.
Oh my god, I wrote Jose instead of Hector already.
Well, there it is.
Yeah.
Those of you still at the cafe, so you notice just the little business with the employees. They don't follow.
mhm.
There's sort of they went in that direction. They go inside the cafe after that. Maybe to communicate something, maybe not. Who knows?
I order lunch.
Okay.
After a few minutes of them not coming back, I'm like, they got till the end of lunch to come back before we go find them. But the whole time, I'm just agitated now. I'm like, this is too fucking perfect.
Yep. Oh yeah, yeah.
And, and I'm, I'm like, don't they know they're part of a revolution? Apparently not.
Yeah, it's a little disconcerting, because Governor Perez was clearly worried about the state the city is in, but it's the opposite. It's like it's too clean.
Yeah.
There's no spark of chaos left, and all of you are world savvy enough to know
Yeah.
that's just not a thing.
So we came in on one of my ships,
The Gull.
the Gull, and then the Bell was the Bell was coming after, because we were traveling with a second ship, weren't we?
Yeah. There's other people.
But it wasn't the Bell. They're
yeah.
somewhere behind us.
It was 2 of my 3 ships.
Yeah.
And
The Nina, then I'm just kidding.
Okay. I think I
was like, the Phoenix is getting redone.
thought the Phoenix was finished.
yeah, it got accelerated
Oh,
because
that's right.
Yeah.
the Phoenix was the ship where Rethold was like, we're gonna change the profile, we're gonna burn out
Yeah.
one of the decks, but she had two. She had two fire starters.
The goal was the fast ship that we got from the island.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the Phoenix was the prisoner ship.
Yeah. But there was also the sloop.
I believe the Gull was the sloop.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then we got a
I
third
don't know
one.
anymore.
Yeah.
The sloop is a ship type. and
Yeah, I
it
know,
has
but
a-
I
It's
didn't
the
realize
sloop,
that
not
was the
the
fast
sloop.
one. I thought it was just little.
Well, you're the one under my
There was like a little boat, wasn't there?
Yeah.
Or is that the sloop?
I'm pretty sure it's the sloop.
I don't know. Everything's just.
It's a little fast boat.
So there's a third one that I haven't actually named yet that I didn't write down that I think is being worked on.
Yeah.
Well, you got more now because you reappropriated some of the
Inquisitor's ship, and then also one of the Castilians' navy that we're sending to the island to get refitted.
Yeah.
So there's a small
Armada.
flotilla now,
Yeah.
or squadron. So basically,
Ooh, does that make you an admiral?
no, I'm just
Commodore.
I'm just Rethold. It's fine. No, maybe we'll see. I believe there's like a sea wolf term
Yeah.
that I can affect once I have a raiding team. Because that's kind of what I'm building.
Yeah.
Are you being ignored?
But I basically would just send word back to the second ship to don't be fucking docked. Go set anchor off
What?
Off the shore.
offshore, and basically just send a jolly boat back and forth on shifts, and that way if the boat doesn't come back to the ship at some point, they know that shit's gone
Yeah.
down.
For your recruitment video.
And so
It's the Jose blurb that's currently on the wiki.
valued team member, what is it like to be a Jose?
Nice.
Those who have to ask will never know. Work hard, stay out of trouble, and serve your nation. In time, you too may be worthy of the name Jose.
Jose.
Okay. Are you looping back to the cafe before you do that?
Depends on if it's on the way or not.
The market seems a little out of the way.
You
Okay,
forgot
then yeah, I'll go
Josecito
back.
Perrito.
Yeah, he's not on there yet.
Do you need to make a special
most
like
important
profile for
Jose.
dogs?
He is.
He's our master.
But yeah, I'll come back if
He's the
that's
best
supposed-
Jose.
Yeah.
And, it's stiff competition, but
I mean, I might try to not,
that tail really puts him over the top.
probably try to meander a bit.
It's the one piece that nobody else has.
No, not that they're willing to admit, as far as I can tell.
All right. So you're looping in by the cafe. This took you a little bit of time.
Of course.
Genya, Rethel, you don't even need to roll for this.
Yeah.
The return is noted by the cafe staff. Ricardo is 3 coffees in at this point.
He's gonna be awake
Oh,
the
yeah,
entire
yeah.
time we're here.
Oh yeah, and it is.
I'm pouring that shit on the ground.
I was
At
like-
this point, I'm like, sip, sip, splash. Like,
Like-
I'm like, I don't need to be agitated.
I assume I have able drinker, which cures me from alcoholism. I assume it cures me from caffeine.
It's
Well, so is
it
my
doesn't
cast iron
it doesn't
stomach.
hit you
Yeah.
as much as it hits your bow. Like he's not.
Well, that's
He's-
true for everything.
Ricardo is trained and he knows how to handle his shit. So he doesn't got the jitters or he doesn't got the but this place is doing a number on him in a sense of like you can feel from him, like he's not showing it, but you can feel
The waves.
I fucking hate this.
So
like,
as soon as-
I hate it.
So you two get back.
Mm-hmm.
Do you start right away? Because my inclination is to be like,
I'm not going to say anything while we're still here.
okay, because I'm like,
I
we
just,
should
I
probably
just
go
say
to our
really
appointment.
somewhat
Yeah.
loudly, oh, I went to the market and I entirely forgot my wallet.
I'm like, we can either go to the appointment,
I don't have my purse.
Exactly.
or I can start questioning people. Please let me start questioning people. Or we should go to the appointment
Invest in. We need to go to the appointment.
Wait, which appointment?
with the governor.
Yeah.
Oh, right, yeah.
Just to go talk to him in Laundreville to be like, so are we going to start telling people that they're now revolutionaries? Because I don't think that's going to happen the way we want it to.
Yeah.
And when the crows show up outside, people are going to say that it's part of the fucking insurgency instead of part of the people that are supposed to protect them from
Yep.
Castile coming in.
Yep. You gotta lay some groundwork.
Yeah.
Although on the flip side, you're sort of setting up the ground for a Winter Sun versus Carrion Crow.
Which
Yeah.
I'm fucking here for.
I'm on the winning side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In Usurin, Zhenya tells Veronica, keep close, don't wander off, and don't say anything.
Pretty much while I'm in the city, I'm assuming I'm
Yeah, like as soon as you guys were like the meeting, I'm like, oh, and I just like clanking and let's fucking go. No, yeah, I'm ready to start fucking punching people. I don't care who.
Veronica basically, at first, uncharacteristically subdued,
Yeah.
gives you a yes, sister. And then after she had a couple more seconds, she's like, would it help if I pretend to be passed out? Like I was for months.
No.
She could pretend to be simple though.
But if you wanted to pass out now, it would be a wonderful reason for me to leave.
Is that what it would take?
She just
help.
really
I mean, we're
wants out
leaving
here.
now. But
Yeah.
And then she says, I'm just gonna pretend I don't speak the language.
It's wonderful. I mean, I've already given away that I do, so at least one of us doesn't.
And she nods. Ricardo was sort of looking away while this was happening, and then he sort of leans in to this and tells Veronica, like, keep your weapons at the ready. We're going to need them. And then she gives him a nod, but then as he says that, like, she responds to him in a Surin, which sort of takes him aback.
Yeah.
Like, she basically says, like, well, Eugenia, you understand her. She's like, oh, I'm going to enjoy this.
Yeah.
Is basically what she said. And then he looks at her, like, kind of dumbfounded, and then he's like, oh, yeah, okay, yeah, sure.
Zhenya turns to him and goes, in Castilian, she's very interested in the drinks. It's very strange. We've never had anything like this before.
Yeah, well, I had my fill for today, I think. If you don't mind, and he steps up and sort of stretches.
Leaving inconspicuously.
well, I
Well,
was already standing up.
No, I
I'm, like,
know.
it's
sitting-
more like as
He needs
people
a
are
partner.
standing up, he's like, I drank 3 of these, and I feel like I have to take about 2 out, so I am going to
Run away.
take
I
a
also-
step away.
I also give a note to the ships that they only fly the Castilian flag, and basically the rotation is just to and from each ship, and so that way if something
Perfect.
happens, there's a chance that they can cut rope and get out into the bay of the docked ship. Because if I need to get out to a ship in a bay, I know I can get
weird
there.
and gross.
But
Just likes to
Um,
lick the step.
She's not licking the step, she's licking the trash can.
Oh, god damn it. Fayal!
savor the flavor.
She, to be
No, there she goes.
to be accurate, she's licking the foot pedal
Oh, yeah.
of the trash.
That's where all the
can.
flavor is.
She just
Um, I'm gonna wait for Lisa to be back for this one. But yeah, I think you're all picking up. Ricardo does his best. He's Castilian as fuck in that moment. He stretches and then he's taking a stroll by the water. He's tipping his hat at like almost everybody he sees.
Everybody
and then,
waves cheerfully. It's
yeah,
like
he
overly
ducks
sweet,
to the
like,
side of the
song
building.
playing.
Like he even asks one of the patrons. He's like, I gotta take a leak.
I gotta go
Like,
away
could you-
for a minute.
And he gets sort of directed, and he peeks, goes behind the building
No
for a bit.
persuasion rolls for me to act bored and
Yeah.
fancy. This is
He comes back again, same leisurely strolls, and he's like, "All right, ready when you are." And as you pack up and leave with a big wave and too big a smile from Antonia, she's like, "I hope you'll come back."
I dropped too big of a tip. Just as a statement, just like
Just to be annoyed.
don't fucking care. Just
Right.
this is so fucking stupid.
Oh, that's not necessary. Don't worry.
Right.
Your
No,
family's gonna need it when I bury you.
It's like, now maybe.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, all of it wouldn't do you any good.
Ricardo, when you're out of earshot, says, "Well, some people are ready for a siege out here.
It seems to be so.
I went to take a leak and just had a little bit of a look around. There's gunnery nests built up near the rooftops. Most of them are unmanned right now, but they're ready just in case."
This was not going to be as easy as we thought it would.
I never thought it was going to
Oh,
be
wait.
easy.
Did we ever get did was it asserted to get runners out into the hills like I'd asked?
I
Like,
want to
was
say
that-
it was.
Okay, because I would definitely then in that case I would tag someone on the Gull to be like next rotation, have someone on the Phoenix take a ship out at night, row off to the coast, and just fucking roundabout loop this thing to let the crows coming in know that they're gonna need to prep for potential siege.
Yep.
For besieging, and that it's the fucking Winter Suns running the operation. So
Yeah.
just pushing the intel.
Yeah, totally. Ricardo tells you what he's observed, and he's like, I wouldn't be surprised if they had that kind of setup peppered all throughout the city. That's how I'd do it. Not bad for people who don't have war on their soil.
You just go up and break them.
Right.
I'm this close. I'm just
If you mention it, Ricardo was like, well, I was already doing my business. I have considered just walking up there at least.
just light the fucking box on fire and let it figure itself out.
So
Everybody roll me wits plus notice as you're... Because I'm assuming...
Can I
Okay, what's this?
assume... I'm assuming I'm being followed at any time at this point.
Oh yeah, no, we're
Yeah.
totally being trailed. Everyone's watching our every
I'm
fucking
a
move.
very conspicuous and certain woman with family.
Like, y'all are lucky I'm not
29s.
declaring us the saviors of San Felipe at this point.
If you did, I'd roll with it.
Well, that is why I mentioned the meeting, because I want to get Laundreville and the governors and Nzabi's desired tack for this before we go loud.
Yeah.
I just want to consult them.
Yeah.
I think that they would probably rather not go loud right
Exactly, but I want them to tell it to my face. So that I can then break stuff later. And, I want to know what my restraints are.
Another 4.
Rerolls.
now. Oh, I got to 9.
I only got 4.
Yeah, I only got 4 also.
While Xenia has a fair amount of wits, she doesn't have a fair amount of notice.
Well, I have 4 in both. I just keep rolling really low numbers.
Yeah, my
So
It's
it's-
worse when you roll really high numbers.
dice were not quite doing.
Everything is just...
Yeah, so it's like I can make 15s, and at least they count as 2, but I can only make 2 15s, and I can't make anything else.
Exactly. I had 2 15s and a 3. Well, I had 2 15s and a 1, and then I re-rolled that one to be a 3.
Yeah, I already did my reroll, so I
Yeah.
can't do it again.
Yeah, this 13 is mocking me.
Yeah.
And as it was, I had to use 3 dice to make a 15 over there.
Yeah, that's what I had to do also.
So yeah.
Sad.
Yeah. I rolled 2 10s last time, but I don't have a 5.
Yeah.
So,
9.
tough titties.
A 9.
4.
Alright.
For whatever reason, I am hypervigilant.
Yeah,
Yeah, well,
Well,
I
you're
wonder
used to
why.
this.
That's
You
true.
come from this world.
That's right.
That is very true.
it triggers your PTSD just a little bit.
That's why we're like, yes, we don't like it.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah,
we're about
well,
to just
we're
start punching
actually-
things.
We're not super close to where my hometown is, but we are closer than we were before.
Yeah.
Because I'm from, like, up here.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Liso is basically like it's in the bay, so
Yeah.
it doesn't show on this map there. But
Oh,
you're
no,
basically
we're in
you're
here.
Oh,
you're
we're
the,
over here?
Yeah.
you're at the peninsula.
Oh, okay.
Like,
over here.
right
Oh, no,
here.
okay. Yeah, that's,
Oh,
okay,
okay,
that's what I
we're
thought,
over
yeah.
here. Okay, so no, we're actually...
Yeah.
We're not that much closer, but... Because I'm from, like, right here. I
But
thought we were over here.
Mhm.
yeah, no tails per se, but at several points during your journey, like you do notice
It's just checkpoints.
just overly friendly folks, just sort of, tipping a hat or waving a hand, and
Can we starting to
and
figure
like
out how to
Jay's doing it
spot
right
them?
back.
yeah,
Just fucking check-ins.
just
Yeah.
watching, just being a little too interested for just like somebody you passed on the street.
Let me see that. Let me see that cool little map they gave you with the little recommended restaurants and
Oh, yes.
right.
Yeah.
Does it have like a little cool map of the town and
Yeah.
who of us has the? I hand it over to you, and I'm like,
I can't read it.
Just the
you
map.
can read a map.
I can read
Oh,
a map,
yeah.
yes.
Yeah, and I'm like, where's their headquarters?
Oh, my warfare. Yeah.
I say it invest in
Yeah.
and sort of wink over at Ricardo.
Warfare in...
Wits. You're trying to strategize.
Yeah.
Because you got more than 3 dots, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Where would I put this?
Just based on where the intel points are, where you're trying to keep them, where you're trying to keep the undesirables
Yep.
versus where would you, do you pluck it right in the middle to keep an eye on things, or do you space it somewhere more defensible? Because now we seem to have several points of reference that you can extrapolate.
Mm-hmm.
6.
Booyah.
6.
Yeah. There.
You're fairly convinced you have a building on the map, or at least a small block of buildings, or you're like, if I was to put like a headquarter outpost that watches all of that, this is where I would put it.
Makes more
Because
sense.
that's the place we're going to burn to the fucking
Yeah,
ground.
you can show it when you get to Perez's mansion, and they might be able to tell you what's
What it
in
is.
that vicinity.
Yeah.
Orphanage and a hospital.
Right,
That's okay. We can control the burn.
right.
It's true.
All of the orphans are sleeper agents. Will beat you to death with
Like, don't
crutches.
Finding Neverland this shit.
That's right.
I hadn't considered killing children, but
Yep.
if they're evil,
You get assaulted with a crutch
There's no such thing.
by an orphan with scurvy.
Oh my god.
Wow.
well, at that point you don't have to kill them. You just let nature take its course. You just put your hand on their forehead and you're
Right.
like, stop. It's just no.
You just have to survive. You just have to
Tiny
outlast.
Tim is angry.
Tiny Tim chose violence.
Yeah.
When are we going straight to the
Now we are, apparently, because if we don't, Rethel is just gonna tear
Mansion?
something up out here.
Well, there's...
Oh, well, if we wanted to do something else.
Or are we looking for somewhere to stay before we go to the mansion?
No,
Okay.
it's pointless.
Or are we just going to stay on the boat?
It's tempting.
Okay.
It's tempting.
I feel like having to come in and out of the city every day would be...
I would want to stay inside.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. My druthers is talk to the governor, talk to Monterville, and then stay at a place that is not on that fucking map.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
I was just like, I'm not sleeping anywhere. She told me to sleep.
I'm like, whatever vacant house is near the mansion, we just buy it. Like,
I mean, I
You
guess
have the funds.
Something
between
like-
the two of you,
Now we have
the
a-
capital now.
I have a
Yeah.
fair amount of capital
You're
myself.
successful.
I mean,
Business
so does
business.
Savannah. She just chooses not to use
yeah.
it.
Yeah.
I just earned a lot over having my business. Like,
You're like when
You're
you
a
win the
seed.
lotto and you're like, but
Is this
I
our-
actually
is
like
this
my
our
job.
vacation
It's-
home?
Right.
Yeah, no.
I already bought the house I wanted,
Jimena has money. She just steals everything for funsies.
This is...
which is almost better.
You're all secretly Batman. Like, you all have rich as a superpower.
oh god.
Like, where do you think she gets all those alchemical supplies? Those
Right?
are free.
Yeah.
Yep. Those all come cheap.
Single-handedly keeping the apothecaries
Booming.
funded. Yeah.
The streets are very clean as you get into the more upscale quarters, just straight overlooking the city. You do see detachments of Winter Sun passing through, never looking like they're on patrol, right? Like just looking like they're walking around, like they're returning from assignments.
Fucking bullshit.
And when you get to the governor's mansion, a lot of people are leaving it. There's a lot of people coming out. Some of them look
Exodus.
like they are real upset. Like there's guards, there's people looking like they're wearing like livery, like their house staff. Like a lot of people are sort of leaving.
If I can, I peel one off and be like, "Hello, what did happen in the Where Mad? Why?"
Like super broken.
No, in Super Broken Thean, like he doesn't even speak normal English. Like, what's wrong with
Yeah.
this guy?
This Castilian lady basically like sort of shakes her head and is like, got fired is what happened. I just started here like 3 months ago and now I'm fired.
I look at you distressed. I'm like, and invest in. I say, I think there's a fire. All of a sudden,
Oh, great.
why is there a fire? We shouldn't go if it's on fire.
No, we should go if it's on fire.
We've got someone who can fix
Because I'm translating.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh!
Veronica's looking ahead.
So, like,
Yeah.
are all the people
Right.
that got fired, like, Castilian looking?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
You know, I feel like everyone in this area basically is Castilian.
Yeah.
Like,
There's
'cause
a
they're
lot of
they're
Castilians.
rooting out all the others.
Yeah, you do
All the outside
periodically
people.
see somebody who does not look,
Fit. Like his
you know,
little image.
Southern Tian like once in a while, but it's definitely a rarity, right? Following the instructions that Lauderdale gave you, you're basically like the two gate guards allow you through this brouhaha to the protests of everybody else, right? And they're like, what? Like, you get accused by one person, Jimena, of being the equivalent of a scab. Like, you're,
Oh, jeez.
like,
I'm a fucking strike breaker.
yep. Like, oh, they fire us and then they hire, and then you hear at least a couple folks like, oh, they hire foreigners too. They
Oh,
probably
how-
pay
how can we
them way less than
Yep.
they're paying
Oh,
us.
they're bringing in the Irish. I see.
Right. Yep.
How's the vegetation around here?
Oh.
Lush
Okay.
and beautiful. Nice.
Manicured.
Oh, yeah.
Nothing
Absolutely.
organic.
If someone said, like, at some point, when someone says something particularly nasty, Jimena just says, like, in Castilian, it's like, well, you gotta get the person to do the job right, you know?
Xenia pops a root out of the ground to trip them.
This lady who's like, oh yeah, those foreigners, like suddenly tumbles and the street has a bit of a slope. So she tumbles and she doesn't stop immediately. There's a bit of a roll.
I don't know what happened.
Oh,
There's a bit of a roll.
Invest and I say they should do something about that terrible urban
There's
planning.
a string
That's
of
unfortunate.
expletives in Castilian, Jimena,
Laughs
which is
invested.
quite entertaining.
Yeah.
She's like, look out.
Yeah. Watch out.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Oh no!
Aviso.
Oh, that's tragic.
Sorry, I was too
Look,
much
it's
in my
2
head.
seconds too
So all
late.
these people are in an exodus because someone has just fired every
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah.
non-Aryan youth. Effectively, is what's going on here. Okay, cool.
So
Sweet.
you get led into the manor. You get the shortcut because there's still people picking shit up and leaving inside.
Yeah.
You get
Oh, got shit canned.
headed to like a little salon. You see Landreville has a drink and a bottle on a table. Like he has like his stump like close to his chest, like all bandaged, and he's drinking. Perez is seated at the desk, like just like massaging his temples.
I walk like right up to the desk, like as close in with Laundreville and the governor as possible, and I sort of like look at like the corners of the room.
Right. You're basically alone in there.
Well, no,
and-
that's my signal to be like, do we? You know, I'm like,
Oh yeah. No, Landreville like basically is just like, oh, good timing. Please come in.
This place is rotten.
Yeah, like the doors get closed behind you, and like Landreville says nothing and just downs his glass. Perez is like, I don't even know where to begin.
I look over
and
at- I look
Martin just canned 75% of my staff, and he sort of stands
I
up.
look over at
Virginia?
Veronica,
Mm-hmm.
and invest in. I'm like, sing something loud and obnoxious.
Like, I don't know if Veronica
And
speaks
long.
Vestin. I speak Vestin.
I mean, I say it to her, invest in.
Yeah, I know, but I don't know if she does.
Yeah.
Well,
And if she's-
even she does, odd she doesn't.
I mean, even if she doesn't, you'll be like, he's
Well, you
wanting
can
you
check
to
it,
sing
so-
for some
Right.
reason.
It's odd.
Okay, she does not.
She does not.
She,
She looks at you like, is it like? Do I still pretend?
In Sir and Zhenya says, sing something for us.
Like now?
Yes, right now.
All right. She looks at you. She looks at Ricardo. Ricardo's just like,
There should be more
Yeah,
water
Ricardo's
fountains. in
like,
this
I don't
area.
speak any of this
I
movie.
make I make this motion. I'm like, you know,
and she sort of posts herself close to the door, and sits, and sings the song of your people, Zhenya. Yep. It's just
No,
it's
I
just
just
that
keep
for-
thinking it's
for-
Trollolo again.
It's just that in a 25-minute exploration. That's right.
That's right.
So
It's a little horns.
25 themes of Trollolo.
But
Ten
she did spend
hours
a lot
of
of time with the
Trollolo.
Sarmatian, so I also imagine the Numa Numa song gets thrown in there
Yeah.
somewhere.
Yes.
No, I know that.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh my god. Yes.
Yes. It's perfect.
She just starts singing the Rasputin song.
It's a playlist. It's
Yeah.
the best. It's just
It's
the
playlist.
fucking troll playlist of the
It's
internet.
the hot summer mix.
Oh,
We're not even in
yeah.
spring yet,
Yeah.
and it's
And as soon as she's like right into the chorus, I lean. I'm like, when do we burn this place to the fucking ground? I'm like,
Right
show them the map.
away.
Show them the map.
Landreville
Show them the
is
map where the
like
headquarters is.
already busy pouring himself another glass, and he's nodding at you.
I'm like just
Wait.
like gesticulating at the map, like
Perez
start here,
says,
start cutting.
I have some other information that I picked up on my little excursion. So, before we burn that place, we may also want to visit this place. And I tell about the place that Hector said that people
Burn that down
want
too.
to.
Oh no,
Oh, no,
no,
that's
burn
a
that
good-
down. Oh,
Please
okay,
don't.
no.
No burning
no
this.
burn, no burn
Okay,
this
okay,
one.
okay.
Right.
Red X, green circle. Got it. Okay.
No, we have to do this with clear colors and symbols right
Yes.
now.
Yeah.
Russell is ready to go.
Oh.
Yeah.
between all of you, you piece all the dots together.
Jimena presents the
Catalina,
signet ring.
the
You're
lady
like,
that
eh?
you met and gave an envelope to, is also an agent of the Invisible College.
I approve
So,
of this, Jose.
Yeah, sad
Although you should have
Jose.
given him a weapon and brought him along, whether he liked it or not.
I
But
did give him a weapon.
you have your own ways.
He wasn't going to come.
Hey, no, that's fair. That's fair. I know that's never stopped me, but I respect your process.
I gave him the address.
I know, but I
Um,
would have just picked him up. But that's
She's no
We are
strong.
not all giant ginger men.
Perez.
You two were more than adequate to handle that man. I was no. Anyway,
Whatever. I mean, I've only got a 2 in bronze.
Bicker,
so.
bicker, bicker, bicker,
Yeah.
bicker, bicker.
During all the
Just some sort
bickering,
of
Genya
empty
sidles up
energy.
Wait a
quietly
second,
to
if you don't
Perez.
even speak Thean well, then how have we been talking to you?
No,
I
he
speak
speaks Thean
Thean
perfectly.
Oh, okay.
He was just being funsies.
Okay.
Yeah, he's being an
Um,
asshole.
Yeah.
Well, while they're
Never
bickering
mind.
about Jose's, Genya lays out the map and she says, I was looking at this map, and if I were to put a headquarters somewhere, I would put here. Kasha has said that he has seen outposts here, 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 and here. If I were to put more outposts, I'd put them here, 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 and here.
He
Push.
he looks at it,
The
Um,
shittiest sand table ever.
and he sort of looks up at Landreville, and Landreville like takes one look down, and he's like, "This is Nyberg's mansion. That's where he lives."
Oh, wonderful.
Wait, who?
Is he
The-
one
The,
of the
the man,
dudes?
your guy.
Yeah.
I'm like,
He says,
I'm just like gripping the handles.
he
of the
says,
axe,
"Can I see
Your
that
muscles
list
are like
again?"
pulsing.
and I'm like, no, you know it's on there, and I'm just like,
He looks at the list of places, and he's like, "Oh yeah, those are all his inns
and I'm
and
like,
restaurants."
and I'm like,
Oh.
oh yeah, brother. Ooh.
And he sort of looks at Perez, and Perez looks like he's out of depth with this situation. Like, you see the same sort of panic
Oh, honey.
a little bit that you've seen with him when Landreville was missing, and he didn't know, like, he's like, I don't even know where to start. We haven't even been here for half a day, and Martin sails in and decides to fire everybody. Now they're yelling at us from the street, and
Who's Mark?
It's
Landreville.
It's his first
That's
name.
his first name.
Landreville just...
He's fired most of the people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
He
Landreville-
walked in and said, "Fuck off, everybody."
Yeah.
He's
Daddy's
drinking
here
his
now.
glass, and he's like, all of these people were hired after you were gone, Carlos. You can't trust any of them.
I wouldn't trust them either. I
Jenya's
think
like,
this is a
nope.
good thing.
And he's like, well, not all of them. And he's like, well, don't argue that your life is in danger.
This place...
Moldy bread.
Landreville is sort of like just gesturing at you with the
You
glass.
get the spot. The spot is just where you can see because it has come from the rest of the.
Jimena's like, "Wait, you don't eat the moldy bread?"
And I'm like, nah, yeah. And I'm like,
That's why she's so healthy, all that
Like the-
penicillin.
yeah, no, it's just.
There's a
The
lady back
analogy goes
home.
entirely
Yeah.
over Jimena's head because she's like, "Wait, you're not supposed to."
And
She
then
has
she's
cast
like,
iron stomach and she has poison
like,
resistance.
right,
So she's
I've been
just
doing
like,
it wrong this whole time.
Oh.
There's a lady back home
No,
who
she
used
got
to do
gooder.
that because she was too cheap to toss her moldy bread, so she would eat
Yeah.
it. She lived over 100.
Yeah,
that lady
no,
was
she was-
unfucking
yeah, no.
killable.
Yeah.
100%.
So, so the location that I was given by Hector, like, where is
Yep.
that in relation to the spot that Shania
It's tucked in
pointed out?
one corner. It's away from the waterfront.
That makes sense.
It's not too far from the university, but still at a safe enough distance. It's not like right next to it.
I sort of. Oh, go ahead.
I was saying, Genya sees like ink or something on his desk,
Mm-hmm.
and she just pulls it over and just starts dipping her finger in it, and like that.
Yep.
This is here.
As she's dabbing. Booyah!
Why weren't we filming that?
I know.
Right.
Why are we always
Because you
so?
She has
get
ink
those
on her
directions.
finger too, so it
No,
splatters on the wall.
We're gonna dab at each other.
So
One at a time. Yeah, we know.
No.
That's right.
Cool.
Well, you could have gone the same. You know, it's
If you're
beautiful.
listening to this
no,
podcast,
it was unified. It was a flying dab.
yeah. This is a radio play now, so
Yeah.
like imagine good synchronized dabbing. That's what happened.
Well, depends on what you think of good.
Mirror.
No, it was excellent. It was excellent.
Yeah.
It was excellent. Yeah.
No, I'm very proud of that.
From my vantage point, I thought it was good.
Yeah, I got a full face.
Yeah.
So it was great.
I am with Lisa.
And so
We're on this side of the table.
as she's tapping out the marks, I'm like, and where do we think her magnificence Raffaella is?
Landreville immediately points out one of the buildings in an upper scale part of town. She's like, the mercenary business is booming. Miss Navarro lives quite comfortably.
Well, that's at least where she lives.
Yes.
Which means it's either where she actually lives and it's very well defended, or it's her entertaining space and she actually holes up somewhere
I
else.
would
But
put my money on her mansion. She doesn't show much around the Winter Sun headquarters at this point. The team is so layered and she doesn't need to make appearances in front of the men so much anymore.
Zhenya spits something in Usurin that Veronica knows to be like that fucking coward.
Yeah.
She was a soldier and now she's a bitch.
Okay.
Himena like raises her hands like, can you point to where the Winter Sun or headquarters is on the
Yep,
map?
he also indicates that spot where
Check.
their company house is at. Perez is still half freaking out. He's looking through like one of the windows and he sees the bustle of people on the street, and then he says to Landreville, like, they're cursing my name. We've been in the city for only a few hours. I'm supposed to get my people's love to turn this around. How do I start doing that? And Landreville turns around and puts his glass on the desk and just straight up backhands him.
Oh my!
Goodness me.
They
right
like to do
there
it
at the
rough,
desk.
huh?
Yeah, I'm
I'm like, Zhenya's looking over that. She's like, I don't know if I like that.
Yeah, it puts
Himena has
like
turned bright red.
Yeah,
Himena is like, oh no.
yeah, I'm like, should we stay?
Yeah, I mean,
Do
you need a
need to
moment.
sleep?
I'm like, however you need to have this
puts her
conversation.
inky hand on his shoulder like, no.
he approaches.
If I see your hand, I gently put mine on. I'm like, no. See what-
Let them handle this bad.
I try, I'm like, you're hysterical. And it's-
Yeah,
I've never been hysterical in my life.
No, you've seen hysterical. You.
Yes, but
Yeah.
Landreville just
I get it. No, I agree. We'll figure this out.
he steps closer to Perez and then he points
Kisses
at the
him
map
Sorry.
Oh
on
my
the
goodness.
table.
And then I start blushing.
Yeah,
Everyone
right.
starts blushing.
There it
I didn't
is.
bring any
You
face.
got all three.
You're
Well
making
done,
our
Tony.
face all
I
hot.
just love what it says about the table when certain.
The
Like, at what
one
point are you
statement you
excited
got
by
all
the
three.
game? Yeah.
Yeah, he steps closer on the other side of the table and then he points at the map on it. And he's like, you have to face the fact, Carlos. This is not about politics anymore. This is a campaign.
I must say,
We're going to have to fight this war.
the people out there, they actually think that, at least originally, that Perez was the one that cleaned up Liso. So this is a good thing. The real Perez is here now. We want that.
He, Perez sort of like has a hand still on his face.
Himena
But
hands him
A bomb.
he does take it and he looks at Landreville and Landreville says, when you left this city, everybody said you were ineffectual. Now you've secured peace in San Felipe. You can do this again. You have a good gathering. Man up and be the person I know you can be. And they
Besides,
sort of,
you're not alone.
he
We are
sort of
quite
looks
skilled.
at the room, and after dabbing his lip for a bit,
Still like gripping the handles, and I'm just like staring out that window.
he sort of slowly takes a seat, pulls a little bit closer, and looks at the map, and then says, "That looks like our starting point, then." Naudoville sort of steps away at this point,
Still gives Ladder from the
but
side.
puts a hand on the shoulder in a kind of comforting manner before he does that, and then goes to serve himself another drink.
It's just the Montaigne problems surfacing in her. Growl.
And then, after looking for, just at it a little bit longer, says,
Okay, that was not me.
Yeah, I was like, who's whining? Yeah, I
the
heard it.
propaganda is a problem. I will start to chip away at it by...
The propaganda? I have my eyes on that lady.
There are definitely people in the city, like the one Malilena found, that do not believe in this peace. We will find them. It
Well,
will not be hard.
there is the one place that I know about. The university very likely has more. They are, at least in the early days, they were the ones that were putting up the most resistance. Many of them died because of it.
We might have to burn it down just to throw off dissent.
Perez looks a little alarmed for a second, and Landreville sort of looks at him like, this is war, Carlos. Your people need you now.
And part of a successful campaign is throwing your enemy off balance. If one of the enemy strongholds suddenly becomes a target, I'm sure that won't be expected.
Isn't that the point of the blacklist as well?
Oh yes, if we know where any of these people are, besides the two.
Well, we know where one of them is because they're at the church.
I was actually going to go out to the market to look around.
Although we're constantly being watched, so if we just walk outside and start killing people, that's going to be awkward. As much as I want to do it.
Landreville sort of looks to the window too, and is like, we need to make sure the people don't pay the collateral too.
Yes.
What is your predator in this land?
Oh yeah.
What is the predator?
Yes.
What's the apex predator?
Landreville sort of chuckles and takes a sip, and he says, Inquisitors.
I cannot make myself into an inquisitor.
Well,
Spit.
I know. I know.
we still
If
have
it's-
the robes on the ship.
The robes and the pins.
And then he says, we have ospreys.
I can do that.
Another bird.
I have 3 in my pocket already.
Well, they are good for getting in and out of places, so.
Landreville says, I would leave the church to Muzabi.
Okay.
Yes.
He's not... he has an uphill battle, but that man has more lives than any cat have known, so he will pull out of it, and if nothing else, his soldier will crack skulls and make sure he comes back safe. The mother will be difficult to approach. She is a beloved figure. It'd be akin to killing a saint. You might have to expose her before you take her down.
Well, I thought we wanted her on her side anyway. To
Well, no,
start
not
with, so-
her, the other lady.
Oh.
Yeah, we want the inquisitor, not the
We want the cardinal.
or the
Yeah.
the cardinal,
We want the
not
cardinal.
the not the
We want
Cardinal
the lady
Fatima.
cardinal to be on our side,
yes
but the resident,
Yeah.
The mother.
the fancy nun.
yeah.
yeah.
The cardinal reveres the fancy nun. The fancy
Yep.
nun's a bitch. But if we go out straight and kill the fancy nun, it's gonna look really bad. So we gotta expose her before we do away with her.
But
Fine.
Nyberg is a good place to start.
He
He
could probably punch
bankrolls
him.
and supplies the whole operation. Plus, he's a foreigner.
What's the guild like here in town? Before I go down there to check for myself.
The The chapter house is much smaller than the one that we have in San Felipe. This is not nearly as big a trade port. The guild stands... They're not too fond of Nyberg. He used to be guild. He's cut ties with them, but he's also very successful because the church is throwing a lot of money making sure his operation is successful. They would love for him to be taken out.
Also, he's a dirty foreigner.
Which is almost why, which is almost why I'm hesitant to target him so aggressively to start.
Yeah.
Hmm.
But if you cut off their supplies,
So are we going to
they'll
pick?
scramble.
Are we picking a person to research, or are we doing this one by one?
I mean, if we could get them all in the same building and set that on fire, that would be great. But I don't think that's going to happen.
No.
Because supposedly they're not supposed to know of each other.
Well,
Well,
no.
All those inns are his inns. So we start just by messing with his shit first.
It isn't a bad idea to start with the money.
Yeah, to disrupt all that stuff. They might take him out themselves if he's not dependable anymore.
The fastest way to take out a regiment on the field is to cut their supplies. If they cannot eat, they cannot fight. If they have no money, they cannot fund their businesses.
I need the new Jose.
Well, we know where he lives.
Yes. If we
We
need
get
an
him,
extraction, let's go
Dress
and
him
buy it.
up. I give him a pocket full of gold, and I have him start buying stuff. He's gonna found the Liso branch of Mendez y Mendez.
He might need a little time
Yeah,
to
you're
build
gonna
up
have
to
to.
that.
You're really gonna have to persuade him, because he doesn't want any. He doesn't want to be involved.
Well, I can't open a business as a foreigner. That would be terrible.
We could find someone else. I mean, we are going to market.
I don't want anyone from this town that's not obviously
Yeah.
like. I guess
You could also
Ricardo
just
could do
give
it.
money to Jimena and have her buy a bunch of stuff. She's charismatic and Castilian.
Yeah, I do sort of look from you to Ricardo and back, and I'm like, we do have a couple Castilians, and one of them is actually a Mendez.
That's true. He is a Mendez.
He is one of the Mendezes of Mendez y Mendez.
As luck would have it.
Yeah.
I thank my father every day. Jenny, you get a wink.
Yeah.
So I do think we will end up in the university at some point, so we'll encounter the professor probably.
Well, if you manage to make contact with the Invisible College in town, whatever they're left, the message you gave them told them to be careful because the Inquisition has who a lot of them
Oh
are.
right, I almost forgot to show the signet
That
I got.
said,
No, I
you
I
did?
thought I had it.
Someone had it.
Yeah.
Someone had it.
he might have
Yeah.
Oh
it.
good. I thought I
That
forgot.
said, the Invisible College are not likely to be the only people wanting the church out of town.
No.
For a number of reasons. I mean, the college obviously has some noble aims. There's also some criminals and rabble-rousers who would be more than happy to have
Yeah, where's the prison around here?
Liso
We're good
the
at
way it
liberating
used to
prisoners.
be.
Mm-hmm.
So getting an idea of what our troop strength is would not be bad to get us started.
Mm-hmm. Well, and if we can make contact with the Invisible College people, then they can probably organize any sort of happenings at the university, which would diminish casualties and whatnot, because we don't want to destroy the university. The university is great, but if we want to draw attention away from ourselves and make it look like, ooh, things they could probably do it themselves, or at least they could get the important shit out before we do that.
Meanwhile, we have other troops that are going to be coming to port fairly shortly here. And as it so happens, I've just created a lot of vacancies on
Oh, look at that.
Carlos's payroll.
Staff.
I've also tipped ahead that of the strategic layout for
Perfect.
our associates who are coming by land.
That will give them reasons to be in town. Well, yeah, we have our work cut out for us. If you want actual recommendations on place to stay, Carlos can probably hook you up.
That would be good to have.
Ooh, what we need to do. Oh, I'm just thinking that at some point we need to get ourselves some Midnight Sun
Outfits.
and so that way,
As soon as I saw like the groups who are obviously not on patrol, I'm like, we should just fucking Inquisitor them and just disappear them into an alley like we did, like the good old days.
Besides, I think that, you need some extracurriculars to get some of this rage out.
Yeah.
right? But that way we can turn everyone against them because they're the ones wreaking havoc.
Zhenia's checking the map for the fastest way for her to get out of the city and into where the rural parts are, so she can animal commune.
Yeah, you'll be able to. I'll give you a list of the animals roaming the countryside.
I mean, she has a wolf in her pocket, but I'm like, if a wolf rolls up into here and there's no wolves in this area, then
No, there would be some.
yeah. But again, hers is a great big white wolf, so
I would like 2 buildings at the same sea level, or at the same elevation level,
I would like 2 buildings.
preferably with some sort of hill between the two.
I mean, I could make a hill.
Wait, what? What are you... Wait, what are you creating a grassy knoll? I mean, what is happening?
No. I was thinking of the destructive potential for creating a hill, which delights me.
They're fucking playing SimCity.
I'm like, if you need terraforming, I have it.
I mean, instead of burning things to the ground, we can just swallow it into the earth.
It isn't the first time I've opened up the earth to swallow people in it.
Yeah!
I
And
did
I
that
mean,
on
there
Isle of
are
San Jose.
earthquakes.
Oh, that's very tempting.
It's island, yeah.
Okay.
That was the first thing I did.
But my purpose was to buy one of the buildings to form the Liso office of Mendez y Mendez, to start filtering more presence, and then make a tunnel between that office and our new point of headquarters, because I don't want to be staying in taverns or inns, even if they are not part of Halfton's network.
Perfect.
So, yeah, I guess we go to what, City Hall for that?
No, we can get the governor to sign off on it.
Oh,
Right?
Yeah.
right, he's
We
right
can get
here.
the governor's
Oh,
seal.
okay.
Carlos will be like, ask for what you need and we'll make sure you get connected. That I can do fairly easily.
Tunnels are not hard.
The irony
He's literally
is
turned
that
into a mole and dig it.
Well, I had a story earlier about how she's like, yeah, I dug all my troops into a hole and we just sat there. And then we sprung up like daisies. They never knew.
Right.
Yeah.
Just fucking sprung out of the ground with spears.
Yeah. But back then I didn't have terraforming power, so I did by hand. So yeah.
But yeah, Carlos basically said the irony is that I was given a lot of authority because they wanted to placate Ushia, who's the official Grande of this territory. So they thought I was going to be a patsy for them,
Playing chess against her.
Mm-hmm.
and I don't think they had time to revoke all of the great liberties and authority
sounds
they have
lovely.
given my position.
Time to abuse those powers of office.
I never thought I would ever say that, but I agree.
For great justice.
Monolith actually chuckles at that. I was like, see, you're learning. I'll make you a general yet.
Oh my. Oh goodness. Oh my. Wow.
Oh yeah, once again.
Sing louder.
Relief?
Yeah. Meanwhile,
Veronica.
Veronica's sort of like trying to pay attention to what's going on, but she's also singing by the door, so she's missing bits
She's
and
fine. This is
pieces.
all boring. It's fine.
She's just itching to get her notebook out.
And she can't write it down this way either.
So okay, I think the two main things we're gonna do next is check out Halfdan and meet the invisible college people. Those are the top two things.
I think we're gonna meet the invisible college people first
Okay.
because Halfdan, honestly, I'm like, I'm really torn about just going straight at him or not agitating the anti-foreign sentiment.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I feel like if we go straight for any of the people, then that's just gonna, like...
That's why I wanted to look like disasters.
Yeah, so, well,
Yeah.
that's what I mean. Like, if we go straight for any of the people on the list, then they're gonna know that they're pretty much gonna know that they're specifically being targeted. But if
Yeah.
we start by doing,
But if
We
a
don't go
wall
for-
accidentally crumbles,
like if we start going for, like, the fingers out
yeah.
and starting at and working our way back up a little bit, obviously they'll know that things are going wrong, but they won't necessarily know that they are specifically what we're eventually going for.
Mhm.
And B, they might turn against each other.
Yep.
Because they're like, well, why are you fucking up? It's like, I'm not fucking up. What are you doing? It's like, how come all my shit's getting fucked up? Where are your
Rethel-
Midnight Sun people?
In
Should-
between winter,
Yeah.
Yeah,
in between meeting with the college,
Mm.
yeah, let's disappear some winter suns and just
Because especially
start
if we can
walking
make
around.
it look like the Winter Suns are the ones that are fucking up all the inns and warehouses,
Yep.
Yep.
then well,
I dig it.
Rethel, from the role you had earlier, too, pretty convinced that if not an open raid on Halfdan, a commercial raid, which is your second favorite,
Yeah.
would actually work pretty well. His only usefulness here to this whole operation is how much he's able to acquire and bankroll them. If you challenge him on that level, either he's going to have to leave
And
them or they're going to disappear him because he's no longer useful.
And I kind of that was kind of where I was going with that of opening a Mendez y Mendez shop
Mhm.
was to then use that as an official red tape way to connect to the guild office. And as
Yep.
soon as we're done here, I'm going to send another missive out to the ship back to the guild hall to let my aunt know that this dickwad has a stranglehold on Liso and is basically suffocating the guild hall in Liso. So
Perfect.
for the good of the guild.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, totally. Ricardo says he's going to leave it to Jimena if she wants to take that position, but that if you need him to be Mr. Mendez,
D. Mendez.
he says, I brought my good coat, so I can at least look the part.
I honestly think that Viviana will need some finesse, and I am best suited for it. I may, however, need somebody to accompany me. Did we leave the brothers? I don't
Yes.
Yeah.
To
Yeah.
watch your husband.
We left him
Right.
out
You're right.
to watch
we,
your shop.
We did leave some stuff behind in case it got
That
hit
makes
while we were
sense.
doing this.
yeah.
Yeah. Although some more backup is on the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
I mean, the bell was coming.
I'm
and
gonna
all
work
sorts of
this
others.
angle slowly
Yeah.
over time while we're doing all the other things, because I really think that this is more of a society thing. I'm gonna have to get an inn. I'm gonna have to,
Well, yeah.
you know, do all that fun stuff.
They're that lady from the info you got, and plus seeing it a little bit in action there. It's all about information control right now.
Mm-hmm. I mean,
They don't know. The people here very likely don't know how things really are in San Felipe.
I do think one of the things I might do is some sort of, I don't know if they would have anything like this actually, but I was thinking, ooh, pop-up market where I'm selling some Il Duce stuff here in Liso. Get some
you
attention.
could probably buy a stall in the market.
Yeah.
You have some capital.
Mendez y Mendez in glorious concert with the guild would love to sponsor a remote pop-up
Yes.
of Il Duce.
Il Duce.
Yeah.
Love it.
Like those,
Limited time.
absolutely pop-up.
Yeah.
All
Limited
right.
edition. Get it.
Oh yeah, ever since San Felipe's glorious reunification and the announcement that Odiseo would once more be a recognized area of Castile, making outroads to other areas.
Perfect. So, with those marching orders, we will take a pause here for this evening and return next week
Yes.
for a continuation, hopefully with Manda this time.
And
Yes.
Yeah.
we'll be in Ohio together.
Yay.
Nice.
So it'll be a remote.
Sweet.
And Evine will have been busy
Oh, of
while
course.
you were gone, so you'll have
Most of this time, I've been like, we'll just have Vivine kill everyone. It's fine. we'll just keep bumbling around like the fucking circus we are. Meanwhile, she's playing her own Assassin's Creed game through the streets of Liso. Which
Irish Assassin's Creed.
Support
Yep,
Assassin's Creed.
Scottish.
it's fine.
Yes.
Assassin's Creed.
Assassin's
There you
Creed.
are.
It's not fine to them.
Thank you.
They're not from the islands.
I don't know how to do a Welsh accent, or I would try, but
No one knows how to do Welsh accent.
the Welsh don't
Not
know how
even
to
the
do
Welsh.
it.
Exactly.
the Welsh are not even consistent.
I'm like,
with it.
the Welsh yell at each other. That's not what we sound like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
I follow enough Welsh people on TikTok to
Do we
see that
level?
they're constantly yelling at each other.
Yes.
Say goodnight, Internet.
Yourself for
Good night,
experience.
Internet.